registration or strengthening that particular law that relates to the regulation and management of trusts. Some of the proposals in this bill include provision for when a trust is created and imposes a requirement that it must be in writing and provides for the grounds for the invalidation of a trust. At the entrance of the National Assembly chambers, we can see some activities. That is the Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, Honorable Gladys Boss. The mess is ahead of the Speaker. That is an indication of the authority of the Parliament as well as the Speaker. So the House about to commence. You will now allow me to hand you over to this live broadcast. My name is Kamche Menza. Good morning.
Honorable members, let us pray. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness have appointed the offices of leaders and parliaments, for the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interest you have committed to our charge. Amen. Sergeant at Arms, you may ring the quorum bell for 10 minutes.
So the prayer has been said and the chair taken. However, the quorum at the commencement of the House has not been attained yet, and the Speaker has directed that the quorum bell be rung, of course, to alert members that there is a quorum hitch as the House is about to commence and that their presence in the chamber is highly required. So let's continue to take a glimpse at some of the priority business that, as the honourable members convene this morning for this plenary sitting, shall be transacting. Earlier on, I indicated to you that the Trust Administration Bill, a bill originating from the National Assembly, Bill number 29 of 2026, government-sponsored bill is lined up for consideration this morning. And there is a procedural motion to exempt it, being a day allocated for business that is not sponsored by majority or minority. This bill is sponsored by the majority leader. It be exempted from that particular provision of the standing order for it to be able to resume debate. Debate on it already started on the floor of the House on Tuesday afternoon, and this morning is also is also lined up for it to be able to continue that particular debate, for it to be able to continue on it. Also, this morning, resumption on the consideration for the Employment Amendment Bill, a bill also originating from the National Assembly, Bill number 62 of 2023, sponsored by the Honorable Member Didmas Barasa, is a bill also lined up to resume its debate that was interrupted on the Wednesday, August 12th, the year 2026, during the morning sitting. There is a balance time of 1 hour and 23 minutes for members who may not have been able to ventilate on the contents of this bill to be able to weigh in. So it is appearing as order number 9 on the order of business, and once the House commences its sitting this morning, then this particular bill shall pick up on the debate. It's a bill that is at its second reading stage, so members are giving their opinions on the contents of this bill before it moves to consideration at the committee of the whole for the members to be able to consider any amendments that may have been moved during the debate stage, as well as considering the report of the committee on whether during public participation any amendments were proposed to the bill for it to be able to continue. So this particular bill seeks to amend the provisions of the Employment Act 2007 to regulate the transfer of employees by employers from one place of work to another. The process and practice of transfer of employees has been arbitrary and has been misused to the detriment of employees, especially those in the public service. Transfers have become a tool used by employers to punish certain employees, which contravenes Article 41 of the Constitution on the right of fair labor practice. So this bill basically seeks to ensure that Article 41 of the Constitution on the right to fair labor practices is adhered to by many organizations as well as government institutions regarding the transfer of employees from one workplace to another. During the debate, members had noted that there have been instances that the circumstances under which employees have been transferred to different workplaces was based on or seemed to be like a punishment and not based on merit in terms of improving or growing that particular institution. So this is a bill that, as members debated, said is long overdue or has come at the right time, and that employees should not, or rather the right for employees to have fair labor practices should not be violated. It is a bill that seeks to provide clarity on the modalities of transfer of employees in good faith and also in fair. The quorum has been attained. Allow me to hand you over.
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair. Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers.
Majority Leader, papers.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the House today, Wednesday, 25th August 2026, in this morning sitting. Reports of the Auditor General and financial statements for the year ended 30th June 2021, 30th June 2022, 30th June 2023, 30th June 2024, 30th June 2025, and the certificates therein in respect of the following. SCK St. John Sigowet Secondary School, Wasigishu County. Abothuguchi Secondary School, Meru County. AIC Kaptumo Secondary School, Wasigishu County. Arabia Girls Secondary School, Mandera County. Chebara Secondary School, Elgeyo Marakwet County. Chebwagan Boys High School, Kericho County. Chief Mbogori Girls High School, Tharaka-Nithi County. ELCK Suk Boys Secondary School, West Pokot County. Mpakasi Mixed Day Secondary School, Kajiado County. Enkorika Secondary School, Kajiado County. Friends Secondary School, Luanda Girls, Bungoma County. Gakuuni Girls Secondary School, Meru County. Gikurune Girls Secondary School, Meru County. Igoki Boys Secondary School, Meru County. Kamaguna Day and Boarding Secondary School, Tharaka-Nithi County. Kangaru Girls School, Embu County. Kanyakine High School, Meru County. Karama Boys Secondary School, Meru County. And Kathera Girls Secondary School, Meru County. At number 20, Kericho High School, Kericho County. Kianyaga High School, Kirinyaga County. Kim Girls High School, Kapkota, Bungoma County. Kimilili Friends Girls Secondary School, Bungoma County, King David Boys High School, Embu County, Kisima Mixed Day Secondary School, Isiolo County, Kithangari Boys Secondary School, Meru County, Leparua Mixed Day Secondary School, Isiolo County, Materi Boys High School, Tharaka-Nithi County, Maua Girls Secondary School, Meru County, MCK Kiagiri Secondary School, Tharaka-Nithi County, Mudhambi Girls High School, Tharaka-Nithi County, Muihoko Secondary School, Kiambu County, Ndagonis Girls Secondary School, Tharaka-Nithi County, Ngage Mixed Secondary School, Meru County, Njuri High School, Tharaka-Nithi County, Nyakach Girls High School, Kisumu County, Olturoto Secondary School, Kajiado County, SA Kieni Girls Secondary School, Embu County, St. Agatha Mokwo Girls Secondary School, Marakwet County, St. Agnes Kianganari Girls Secondary School, Embu County, Anthony Tulukuyi Secondary School, Bungoma County, Agustin Ruguta Secondary School, Tharaka-Nithi County, St. Cecilia Girls Secondary School, Chepareria, West Pokot County, St. Cecilia Nangina Girls High School, Busia County, St. John Kathunguri Secondary School, Embu County, St. Joseph's Bumutiru Secondary School, Busia County, St. Kizito Masielo Secondary School, Bungoma County, St. Luke's Boys High School, Bungoma County, St. Teresa Magumoni Girls Secondary School, Tharaka-Nithi County, Tombe Girls High School, Nyamira, Uku Girls High School, Meru County, and number 52, Wanjura Secondary School, Nyandarua County. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay.
Thank you. We have the chairperson, Legal Affairs, Justice and Legal Affairs, Honorable Murugava. Yes.
Sorry.
Do you have you're supposed to table a report on the trust administration bill? Sorry?
No, it's
Okay.
not ready. I'll
so
explain
later,
shortly.
so we can skip that. Okay. Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion. Order number 7, questions and statements.
We have a statement which was requested by Honorable Manduku, member for Nyaribari Masaba.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44.2c, I rise to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Energy regarding the delay in the implementation of the last mile connectivity project AFD/EU Lot 7 in Nyaribari Masaba constituency. Honorable Speaker, the last mile connectivity project is of great importance to the people of Nyaribari Masaba, particularly households, schools, health facilities, businesses, and other institutions that continue to operate without reliable access to electricity. The project, being undertaken by MS Polyphase Systems Limited, commenced in 2024 and was intended to connect over 5,000 customers across 26 sites within the constituency. The preparatory activities, including completion of designs, acquisition of well leaves, collection of metering documentation, and community sensitization, were reportedly completed, with residents fully cooperating and meeting the requirements for connection. However, approximately 1 year after completion of these preparatory activities, there has been no feasible implementation activity across the 26 sites. The contractor was allocated an 18-month completion period, which has since elapsed without substantial implementation or completion of the project. Honorable Speaker, the prolonged delay has caused frustration and anxiety among the intended beneficiaries and continues to deny them the socio-economic benefits of electricity access, including improved education and healthcare, enterprise development, agricultural value addition, and employment opportunities. The absence of a clear explanation or revised implementation schedule has further undermined the public confidence in the project. Honorable Speaker, it's against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Energy on the following matters. 1, the status of the AFD/EU Lot 7 last mile connectivity project, including percentage of completed works, reasons for the lack of visible implementation across the 26 sites, and whether there are any contractual, financial, technical, administrative, or procurement challenges affecting its implementation. Number 2, Findings of any performance assessment undertaken by the Kenya Power Limited Company, including reasons why MS Polyface Systems Limited, as a contractor, failed to meet the contractual 18-month completion period, and the action taken to enforce the contractor's contractual obligations. And 3, expected completion timelines for the project, including the expected commissioning dates. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Majority Leader, will you give an undertaking on behalf of the Energy Committee, or is there someone from the Energy Committee?
If you can hold on 1 minute. I want to see this. Thank you. Well, I give an undertaking that we will handle this matter immediately after a recess, and I will speak to the chairman. I also would like to say a few things about this project, Honorable Speaker, if you allow me. Honorable Speaker, this AFDEU, Last Mile Connectivity Project, has been a letdown for this country. And the implementers, and especially those that have been given this contract, have let down the whole country. I have many projects in my constituency that are being done under this, and they have never taken off. And the people are blaming government on this matter, and yet government did its best. It awarded contracts, but the contractors have never. The question that I also want to ask about this matter, Honorable Speaker, is why do we give contracts to people who, even on paper, look like they cannot even manage this project? What criteria is used, Honorable Speaker? And I would like to challenge the Minister of Energy to review what they look at when they're offering and giving tenders of this. This is a big project, a massive project, but it looks like it was given to a firm or firms that do not seem to have the capacity to implement this project. It is a big letdown. Very many people, because this project is in Honorable Daniel Manduku's area, but it is also in coast. It is also in coast. It's a big project at the coast. But the people of the coast today say, where is this electricity that we've been promised for many years? Over 3 years now, nothing has taken off on the ground. And I think these guys need to pull up their selves. And I would like the minister to actually give us reasons why these things are not happening, Honorable Speaker. And I think it is something that we need to debate here even before we get the response from the Honorable Speaker. I can see the interest is very high. But we will give a response when we resume from recess. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Dawood.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, what the Majority Leader has just mentioned is good. You see, it's not just the contractors. Kenya Power and REREC do not have the materials, because whenever you hear they have launched, either they have got the poles, they don't have the transformers or the wires. So the Ministry of Energy needs to up their game and do from the World Bank and European Bank and wherever. They need to up their game and finish it before we go to the elections. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Okay, people don't have their cards, so why is everyone shouting?
Yeah,
yes, yeah, I can't see I can't see your face, but give him the mic.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, this is a question that affects most members in this House, and if I may remember very well, and the Deputy Majority Leader can remember, we had such a question that we responded to as a committee. I'm a member of the Committee on Energy. Madam Speaker, we had the Speaker of the day had directed that we have the Minister and the PS together with the MD REREC and MD KPLC appear in this House to answer to this question, because even if we have a response, we'll have a recurrent, because these things are affecting most members in this House, because we'll be responding to the issue of Nyaribari, but even in Ambale, we still have the similar issues. Teso South, my colleague here, we have the similar issues, and you can see the interest from members. So I will propose that we have even a Kamkunji with the Minister and the PS. This is a very serious issue. that I want the Speaker just to reinforce the earlier directive that we have the PS, the Minister, and the 2 CEOs appear before this House. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Pukose, I'll come to you.
Madam Speaker, you are aware that we've been pressurizing our chair, our caucus chair, Honorable Meli, on this issue because the contractors are actually letting us down. Because you'll find that in our own areas like Endebess and Trans-Nzoia, West Pokot, Uasin Gishu, and all that area, Nandi, we have a big challenge with the contractors who have been given this work. Occasionally, they've been telling us at one time materials have not arrived, and the work is actually, they are doing incomplete work. And therefore, I think if you could direct that the CEO, KPLC, the PS, and the Minister, the Cabinet Secretary, the Honorable Pio Andai, appears in this House as soon as possible, maybe even in a week's time, although now we are going on recess, but the next, maybe when we come back again from recess, they should appear in this House so that they can respond. Meanwhile, while the committee is also addressing the issue. Honorable Speaker, this is a very critical issue affecting our constituents, and it is taken a long time since we raised this matter, but we are not seeing any solution coming in place. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
I'll give those first who have their cards. Honorable Makali Mulu.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I think it's a matter. This House needs to take it more serious than we are doing, Honorable Speaker. I remember last week, part 1, when the same matter came up, and it was agreed that we need, I would propose we have do a kamkunji with the Minister and the CEOs of the concerned ministry, Honorable Speaker. Because this matter, Honorable Members, if you don't address it, it will send majority of you home. I can tell you for sure. I've paid money called matching grant for the last 4 years to RELEC. Matching grant is money which comes from the CDF kit. And up to now, nothing has been done. Imagine what would be the impact. And the Kenyans are crying for power, Honorable Speaker. They want electricity. So, Honorable Speaker, I think really you need to help us from where you sit, Honorable Speaker. As soon as possible, we need to have this meeting with this ministry so that we can settle to the issues. I submit, Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
Honorable Meli.
Madam Speaker, I want to agree with my colleagues that this issue of AFD4, AFD3, and electricity connectivity across the country is costing us a lot of political mileage in this country. That the money has been actually expended, and then the CEO, the PS, the CS, looks like they are not up to the game, because every other time you go across, the contractors say they have just left the poles somewhere, as if taking poles and putting them on the roadside and erecting them, and even doing 2 lines looks like it is connectivity. I think the real issue is that the CS and the PS and the CEO has to come to the floor of the House. And I think the Speaker, you will assist us as the membership of the House to make sure that the contractors are working. And there should be a very clear roadmap, timelines on when these projects are supposed to be complete. Across all villages across the country, you'll realize that the contractors are doing shoddy work. They just leave a few poles, erect a few poles one market. They move at some corner, they just do some stringing, and they don't take their work seriously. This is painting a very bad image of the government and all of us who are here. Yet already they have a job to do. So either one, nobody is supervising them well, no one is taking firm action on these particular contractors, or someone is not accountable, because this is something that is very weighty. And I think the committee and all of us need to take this very seriously. And a number of us, actually, might not get our seats back because the Mwananchi wants to see electricity at his doorstep. Thank you.
Honorable Bugambi, member for Buri.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I have a serious concern on the responsiveness from the Kenya Power. Madam Speaker, you go to Kenya Power, it's very difficult to see the CEO. Madam Speaker, there are even some presidential pledges that were approved 3 years ago. And he doesn't respond. I have picked issues with him concerning the AFD project in Meru County. And the members from Meru County are here. There is a contractor who is very arrogant. A contractor who doesn't listen to anybody else other than the MD of Kenya Power. And we feel the MD of Kenya Power is protecting that constructor. Madam Speaker, we have held meetings and meetings. There is no follow-up. You cannot get any response from Kenya Power. At least when we go to Lelik, you get some responses. Madam Speaker, if the CEO cannot see members of parliament, the CEOs cannot respond to the questions from the members of parliament, it leaves a lot of concern to us. So I agree that this issue, particularly Kenya Power, need to be investigated deeply, and the Kenya Power leadership need to be called for failing Kenyans. For failing Kenyans. The problem that has allowed every issues of electricity, they are all revolving around Kenya Power. There is a problem, and we cannot sit back and watch members being banished by their constituents because of the failures of Kenya Power, particularly the CEO. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Naomi Wako. Let me just give those who had punched their cards first, then I'll get to you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for allowing me to add my voice to this very important debate that is going on the request that has been made. Honorable Speaker, the issue of last mile connectivity is something that is affecting the entire country. I have visited different offices. I've gone to REREC. They just keep you busy while you are there, and immediately you leave their office, nothing happens. Honorable Speaker, I agree with honorable members that we summon the CS, the PS, and all the CEOs so that we have a kamkunji to deal with this issue. And it seems as if they are concentrating on some areas and marginalizing some areas like northern part of Kenya, especially my county. We have pleaded with them. I have visited their offices several times, and they are not giving any attention while they are oversupplying some areas in this country, and that is not acceptable anymore. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Allow me to recognize the presence of the following school seated in the Speaker's Gallery: Consolata School from Westlands constituency, Nairobi County. On behalf of myself and the substantive Speaker and the entire National Assembly, we welcome you to the presence of Parliament. Thank you. Okay, Honorable Kibagendi? He has gone. Okay, sir.
Bissau Kiminini, Madam Speaker. This House has appropriated more than before a lot of money on electricity. Country over, every village issues with electricity. Now the question is, the type of contracts that are being put in place by these organizations, don't they have articles to mitigate these delays? My follow-up this week with the ministry, meeting Waziri, the issue is items are being cleared in Mombasa. For how long will they be cleared? So just to agree with the colleagues, we need to get the CS here, we need to get the PS here, the CEOs, including their heads of procurement. What type of contract are they putting in place that are failing to mitigate and cause trouble and delays to electricity? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Beatrice Elachi.
Even the card can't log in, so you need to see my hand.
Just come, you can just give your name to the country.
If I log in, it doesn't respond, it's not taking. Sasa sitaonekana na speaker pale, ndio kwa sababu na weka point of order.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, this issue of last mile and this issue of even the masks that we were to put for security in all our constituencies. I can tell you, Madam Speaker, before we went to recess, you remember we had a statement again on the same matter, and we really pleaded that we will want to see the CS, the PS. First of all, we will want to understand what is the conflict between REREC and KPLC, because that is where, again, we have a lot of challenges. And so, Madam Speaker, even as they come, can all the teams that work on matters energy, especially electricity, come and tell us what is the main issue? And also we have contractors, Madam Speaker, even now. I can tell you for 3 years, I have masts that were raised in my constituency, Madam Speaker. They have never been finished. When you talk to this contractor, he's a very rude engineer, a very rude contractor, who I wonder how government gives him even housing, even what. These are some of the contractors now that need to just leave the work. If you have made a lot of money in Gava, you leave and leave others to do the right thing for us. So, Madam Speaker, we are saying, if we have masts that are just standing, you've used public resources and nothing is happening, no light is there for the people, people are still screaming insecurity, I think it is time we call a spade and deal with the whole ministry. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Adagala.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I also want to speak on these issues to do with the electricity. Madam Speaker, some of us, it seems we are not coming out of, from Kenya. Like my county, Vihiga, we are ever in darkness. And even now, there's a lot of thuggery taking place. May I know why we are not being supplied this last mile? We are not being connected in Vihiga County. And you can get a whole week, power is off. Is that really promoting business, or is it a matter of just somebody sleeping on the job? Let us not keep on blaming the contractors. Who is contracting them? And if a contractor cannot perform, why can't that contract be terminated and be given to somebody who is competent? We cannot let our people suffer just because of incompetent contractors, while there are others who can do the work. Madam Speaker, this is something that needs to be handled very urgently because of insecurity, and we are approaching elections. We need every village to be lit. I want to see power go up to Msunguti in Maragoli Hills. I want to see all villages, even my neighboring villages, they don't have. Go to Mhudu, go to everywhere, Jivuye, there's no electricity. What's happening? Are we not Kenyans? Are we not paying tax? Can the minister be brought here to answer issues of electricity, why we are not having last mile? In fact, that one, we don't need to ask for it. This is something that should be distributed all over without unnecessary talking here. Electricity is very core for people who are doing businesses. We have people who are rearing chicken. You put eggs in an incubator. There's no power for a whole week. Where are we going? Are we going steps, 2 steps forward and 10 steps backward? Madam Speaker, can they come here and tell us what is happening? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable George Murugara, member for Tharaka.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable
And let's
Speaker.
keep it brief because many people want to speak
Yes.
on it so that we can,
Thank you very much,
everyone can
Honorable.
have an opportunity because I know this is important to the electorate.
All right. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the issue of electricity is very emotive in this country. In fact, it now ranks number 2 after water. It has overtaken roads. And therefore, as these members, as we sit here, air our grievances against these 2 power agencies, starting with the REREC, who are trying to do the best they can purely because also they do not have sufficient budget. We have the Kenya Power and Lighting. And Kenya Power and Lighting, we cannot understand why they would say they do not have the budgets. Because amongst other things, as we speak today, they are even exaggerating bills for Kenyans. And I'm going to provide them with evidence to show that they are overcharging Kenyans, they are committing nothing less than fraud, because we cannot have bills that cannot be explained by the person who raised those bills. The MD Kenya Power, he has been authorized that he should actually be electrifying the country. But he goes ahead to give contracts to people who do not have the ability to perform those contracts, including a company known as Meru Woods, which has been given 5 counties. And those counties are Meru, Tharaka Nithi, Embu, Kirinyaga, and Nyeri. He's the one who is dominating those counties. And he cannot move even 1 post. And yet we are supposed to be supplying the country with electricity. Kenya Power needs to be investigated. For sure, we cannot proceed like this on behalf of the people of Kenya. I cannot proceed like this on behalf of the people of Tharaka with a company known as Meru Woods, a company that cannot explain how they got the contracts, why they cannot perform. They are just there. And nobody cares about them. The contracts are not terminated. There is nothing. It is high time the CS Energy comes over here to tell us who Meru Woods is, who is protecting them, and who is giving them those contracts. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Gisairo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I think as most of the members who've spoken, the matter to do with electricity and electricity connectivity is very sensitive and very emotive. It has put so many of us under immense pressure. I was just talking to Honorable Nyamai here that she also suffers the same problem. This is clearly a national issue, and the CS need to be brought here to answer to the House and to answer the questions directly to the members. Honorable Speaker, I hope the people of Kitutu Masaba are watching, because they've always accused me that they are not having power because I'm on the wrong side of government. Clearly, if they are watching this debate today, they'll see it's a national problem. Whether you are in 1 term or 2 term, the whip is the same. And all we need is the CS here, because it's him who is supposed to answer these questions to the nation, and not the members of parliament who've done their part by allocating resources to all government departments to do their job. Our work is to oversight and not to do the implementation. Those responsible for implementation should be brought here to answer these questions. It's not a matter of 1 term or 2 term. The Kenyan people need electricity and electricity connectivity. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Emase.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity. Honorable Speaker, the issue of power connectivity is a big issue. And I want to look at it from 2 directions. It is not, one is the delay in implementation after the budget has been given and money has been released. But the biggest problem is in this House, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, for the last 4 years, I have received less than 10 transformers or maximization. Less than 10. And yet, while we are seated here, there are members here who have received 35, 50, 100. There is no equity in the manner power connectivity is being distributed. Honorable Speaker, I've gone to the budget office and looked at the budget book. I have gone to REREC several times. But what does the CEO say? You are the ones who are appropriating the money. The money comes here already allocated to specific projects in specific regions. Where do I get extra money to give to your constituency, Mheshimiwa? Honorable Speaker, in the 11th Parliament, we had order in the manner and equity in the way power was being distributed. Every member got a specific allocation, and you would only receive a letter from REREC asking you to prioritize and give areas where we want connected. But today, some members, certain committees, let us not pretend and just point fingers at Kenya Power and point fingers at REREC. We are the ones messing, and we must correct the mess starting from here. If there is a problem with the legislation, then we need to amend the legislation so that every member, every constituency gets money for power connectivity. Teso South must get money for power connectivity. How can I, for 5 years, get only 6 or 7 areas being connected to power when other regions in this country have connected more than 100 regions? It is not fair. We must correct the problem in this house. We must not just blame Kenya Power or REREC. We must correct it here, Honorable Speaker. We must speak the truth. There is no less region. There is no less member. Everybody is elected. All Kenyans are equal. Every region must get power connectivity, Honorable Speaker. We want power everywhere. Where I come from, power is priority number 1. My people are still in darkness, and I'm speaking for so many of these members. It doesn't matter whether you are tall, short, male, female, in 1 term or 2 term, we want power connectivity across the country, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
I'll go to Honorable Donya, then I'll come to you, Honorable Didimas. Yes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. There's a time I asked someone at Kenya Power why there's no electricity project taking place in Bonchari constituency. You know what that person told me? That they don't have materials. That was a fake answer, Madam Speaker, because in the nearby constituencies, I don't want to say the constituency, they were still connecting people with power. So they tell you there are no materials for a particular constituency, but there are materials for other constituencies. What we lack is equity, Madam Speaker. And if I were to incite Kenyans, for example, people living with disability, they can sue Kenya Power because they use insulin and it has to be stored in the fridge. And they will start running in and out of court to make sure that those people are served with electricity. So, Madam Speaker, what is key to this house is to have equity, and then they stop telling members that there is no budget when we know well they have sent a contractor to the site. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Didimas Baraza, I will come to you.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to take a completely different direction. I have seen this House lamenting about an equitable allocation of this money to sort out the electricity in our country. What are we doing, Madam Speaker? Because we are the ones that makes the budget. That is number 1. And we can't begin to cry that some constituencies are getting more, others are not getting more, and there is the responsibility of this House. That's number 1. Number 2, Madam Chair, this question is not being asked for the first time. We have gotten responses from Kenya Power and the ministry many times ago, Madam Speaker. The problem that this House has failed to indict civil servants who come here and rely on oath, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, unless we crack the whip, unless we reprimand officers who appear here, they take an oath, they rely on oath, whatever they say, they don't implement, Madam Speaker, we will continue going round and round on this matter. Lastly, Madam Speaker, I think we are getting to a level where even getting quorum will be a problem because we are nearing the election period. What I would suggest is that we convene a Kamkunji, not the whole House of Sitting, but a Kamkunji, where the MD himself, not the minister, because when you invite ministers, they at times make political statements. They can say, we are working on it, we will bring it next month. We can convene a Kamkunji and ask the MD of Kenya Power questions, and their clerks will even verify contract documents. When are they resuming work? What is the status of the materials that are being imported to come and sort out this power, Madam Speaker? Madam Speaker, we have the answer. We have the hammer as a House, but we are not using it. It's high time that the hammer falls on an individual so that Kenyans get power from, regardless of their political divide. Honorable Madam Speaker, I support this statement.
Okay, honorable members, we need to close this, so I'll just give 3 people. I'll give Honorable Mutunga, then Honorable Member for Masiga, and then Member for Kabuchai. Then we close, because we have some other businesses to transact. But I'll give you a lot of latitude because I know it's important.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I think this House is speaking very loudly that what we need is the connectivity connectivity rate metrics, because some areas are overserved, others are underserved. And that is we need to know the reasons behind that. That's the point at which we should need to begin. Honorable Speaker, there are specific issues that KPLC needs to address. In my very considered opinion, power connectivity is business. Remember when we never used to have many service providers in telecommunication. Kenyans suffered. When we never used to have problems, right now we have problems in power. If we pluralized, if we opened up for other service providers, I think we would have better services than we have right now. So whether we have kumekucha or not, we need the data to show who has how many what is the percentage connectivity per constituency. That's the point at which you can begin, Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
Okay, Member for Masinga. Masinga.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for the chance to speak. Masinga constituency has got 4 hydro generating power stations, and yet we have only 10% connected, and the power comes from my constituency. So my people have been asking me, surely, how can we be in darkness and yet the power comes from our constituency and is being supplied to other constituencies, and yet we have nothing? So, Madam Speaker, this is a very, very hard question for me to answer, and you know this is the wrong time for me to argue about electricity because it is only 1 year to election. So we need, as the colleagues have already said, we need the answers from the Kenya Power, we need answers from REREC, and also some of the schools that we were told to indicate which are not connected to electricity, with them connected, because the students use power to use their laptops and also their tablets, and they are not able to do it. And even the solars that were installed sometimes back, they are not even working because they are never serviced. So we need something urgent needs to be done so that we are all connected, so that we are equally balanced, because some constituencies are favored more than the others. Yeah, it's not fair. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Member for Kabuchai.
Well, thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for your magnanimity in allowing me to put my weight on this matter. Madam Speaker, I think we are only left with 349 days to the election. And any mistake done today will permanently affect the 14th Parliament, Madam Speaker. We are not ready to lose after working hard in our constituencies in so many other things, like doing well in managing CDF. And then something very simple comes to mess our life in terms of re-election. Madam Speaker, this last mile program has a myriad of problems. You even get a contractor who comes and drops poles and they again transfer them elsewhere, because one contractor is running around 3 or 4 projects. Madam Speaker, even there are areas like in my constituency, and I want to agree with the Member of Parliament from Teso South, Madam Mary Mas. We do not have equity in this distribution. Madam Speaker, it is even worse. if we have matching funds from CDF. If we are giving funds, matching funds, you take CDF money, and then nothing is done, and the whole period is done. Madam Speaker, this is not good. We want the minister to appear, and that minister must clearly come with the contractors' procurement report and tell us how they procured these contractors, the capacity of these contractors. In the committee in charge must scrutinize these contractors and tell us actually, were they able, did they qualify in the first place? And again, Madam Speaker, we must shame these companies. We need power. We need power, Madam Speaker. We need power. This power must be in our homes for people to use and charge phones, not the other power, Madam Speaker. Thank you, Madam Speaker. And when you come to Kabuchai, I had only 3, and only 2 has been put in place. The one I'm pushing at the Chep Kongoi and the Chep Sitati area. Madam Speaker, there's nothing going on. We must shame these contractors who are sleeping on duty, making it difficult for this government even to be re-elected, although I belong in one term, Madam Speaker. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Let's move to the next statement. I think needs to be responded to. The transport and infrastructure. Are you ready?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to read the response in the request to the statement sought by the member for Nandi County, Honorable Cynthia Muge. Honorable Speaker, in the statement, Honorable Muge sought to establish an explanation on why the River-Tex-Sipkaren River Road, particularly the section traversing Mosop constituency, has not been routinely maintained despite the existence of a valid maintenance contract. She also sought to know the details of the routine maintenance works contract for the road, specifying the identity of the current assigned contractor, the contract sum and the duration, and the specific maintenance activities that the contractor is obligated to undertake vis-a-vis the activities, if any, that has been undertaken. She also sought to understand the oversight mechanism by the Ministry to monitor the contractor's performance and the reasons as to why the current road had been neglected for a long period of time. She also sought to know the immediate measures the ministry plans to put in place to ensure that the overgrown vegetation around the road is cleared and the drainage system is unblocked. She also sought to know the long-term measures that the ministry intends to implement and guarantee proper supervision of the routine maintenance contract and ensure that the road is maintained to the required standards. Honorable Speaker, I beg to respond as follows, that regarding the road, regarding why the road has not been routinely maintained, the ministry submitted that the road project is located in both the Uasin Gishu and Nandi County, and the road is currently under maintenance from 0 kilometer to 12 kilometer that begins from Kapsaret area within Uasin Gishu County. So the road is under maintenance. Number 2, regarding the 3 link roads, the ministry submitted that River-Tex-Sipkaren River covers 14.0 kilometers in Uasin Gishu County and 33.34 kilometers in Nandi County. Kabiemit and Kaplemur covers 3.95 to Nandi County, and St. Teresa Sugoi B dispensary covers 4 kilometers in Uasin Gishu County and 4.085 kilometers in Nandi County. The project was substantially handed over on 18th April 2024, and it entered into a deficit liability period of 12 months, and the maintenance period is 36 months and is scheduled to end in April 2028. Regarding the details of the routine maintenance works, the ministry submitted that the works comprise both bush clearing, cleaning of the side drains, access and cross culverts to free flow condition, while the maintenance for instructed works covers earthworks, excavation, filling of structures, culvert and draining works, reinstatement of road shoulders, repair of base and sub-base layers, and surface dress and patchwork for failed sections and the road furniture. The contractor engaged is called Kabuito Contractors Limited. The duration of the contract is 36 months, and the contract sum is Kenya shillings 302,815,680. Regarding the contractor's progress, the ministry submitted that instructions to commence maintenance works were issued and the contractor started the works in November 2025. As earlier explained, the contractor began working from Kapseret constituency in Uasin Gishu County, and as she progresses towards Mosop constituency and has mobilized several teams to ensure that the works are completed within the timeline. With regard to the oversight mechanism, the ministry submitted that the site meetings are being held in order to monitor the contractor's progress while at the same time bringing out the challenges being faced so that solutions could be sought beforehand. In regard to the immediate measures, the ministry submitted that the contractor has been given firm instructions to do heavy bush clearing, increase additional bumps and warning signs to help curb the rising number of accidents along the road. Lastly, Honorable Speaker, with regard to the long-term measures, the ministry submitted that the measures put in place are to continue strengthening contract management and supervision by increasing the frequency of site inspections, enforcing contractual obligations, and performance monitoring, and ensure timely certification of completed works based on compliance with prescribed specifications. I thank you, Honorable Speaker, and this is what the ministry has submitted in the response to the statement sought by the Honorable Mugi. Thank you.
Okay. Honorable Member for Nandi County, are you satisfied with the...
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Speaker. Allow me to state how I feel about this particular response. First, by thanking the committee member for taking, I think relatively, Honorable Speaker, honestly speaking, this is one of the things that has been reported back in good time, so to speak. I want to appreciate the committee for having been able to provide that response. Honorable Speaker, I just want to note that the contractor is being a bit reactive. It was immediately after I saw this statement that they were able to go back to the field and be able to start the clearing. However, Honorable Speaker, the clearing that is being done now is not systematic. They are just clearing and leaving it and clearing and leaving it. They are not doing a good job as they should be able to do. Again, Honorable Speaker, they have focused on clearing the bush only. They have not focused on the drainage, which is a problem. And Honorable Speaker, if you use that route, because me and you both actually use that route more often than not, if you look at the drainage at Lemok Center, where the water is supposed to drain into the river, there's a problem because every time there's a lot of water, because the drainage is poor, it actually overflows on top of the road, and it's actually damaging the road. If you go to the other junction that is popularly known as Kapchemuriet, Honorable Speaker, the same is happening, and it has started damaging the road on a serious note. If you go further down to Ndalat, Honorable Speaker, and to Malando, Honorable Speaker, and if you go to Salient, where the river, where Kipkaren River crosses, there is a huge problem. The contractor has not been able to repair and actually replace the guardrails. And you know how much that water is, Honorable Speaker. It is looking very dangerous, and as you approach the bridge, which is quite big, there is a lot of damage on the tarmac, and it has been like that for the last several months. And the efforts to make sure that this particular contractor actually comes to site and repairs, especially the part that has the bridge, has been futile. We've not been able to get any support from them, and they have not been able to go there. And Honorable Speaker, this leaves me asking a lot of questions. The job and the contract entails that this contractor is supposed to do routine checks to see if the drainage is okay, if there is any problem with the road itself, if there is a problem with the guardrails that have been installed along that road. But it looks like this contractor, Honorable Speaker, is not paying attention to any of that. And if we continue like this, Honorable Speaker, we will be risking having a very pathetic road in another very few years, Honorable Speaker. And it would be cheaper to have the roads maintained when they are still maintainable, as opposed to waiting for it to completely wear out, so that we are, then it requires that we do a new road altogether. So, Honorable Speaker, I appreciate the response, but again, I want to ask that this contractor, through the ministry, is able to do their job diligently, be able to do the maintenance and the clearance, and pay attention to the drainage, so that we're able to save the taxpayers' money and have this road actually maintained and be in good condition for a better and longer time. I appreciate the response, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Baraza. Have you noted what she has said?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I have noted, and I want also to confirm that even myself and the people from Western, we use this road quite often. And may I suggest that I will get to the ministry today so that when we are going home, maybe over the weekend, the ministry can arrange a small site meeting along that road so that we can actually ensure that whatever the contractor is doing is not knee-jerk reaction, and that the concerns raised by the honorable member, who is a very serious honorable member, can actually be taken into account, especially even as you move towards, before the junction that goes now to Kipkaren River. There is that bridge, it's usually a very small bridge, and at times when it gets flooded. And the ministry has actually committed that they are going to sort this matter out. And as a committee, we are going to follow up this matter like our life depends on it, Madam Speaker. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let's move to the next order.
Order number 8, procedural motion, exemption of specified business from provisions of Standing Order 43.
And Majority Leader, because it's just a procedural motion, there's no need to belabor the point. Yes, just move it, second in one sentence, and then we proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I will keep to my style. When it comes to procedural motions, we don't belabor the point. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that this House resolves to exempt the business appearing as Order number 11. Order number 11, Honorable Speaker, is the Trust Administration Bill, National Assembly Bill, number 29 of 2026. In today's order paper, from the provisions of Standing Order 43, being a Wednesday morning, a day allocated for business not sponsored by the majority or minority party or business sponsored by a committee. Honorable Speaker, this bill, the Trust Administration Bill, is an important piece
We debated it yesterday.
Yes,
Everyone knows how important it is.
Yes.
So just have somebody second.
But I need to put it on record why we are actually seeking that it's procedural. Yes.
Yesterday it was
No,
spoken
it's
to
procedure,
at length.
Honorable Speaker, that I say why. Because this is an important piece of legislation, and this piece of legislation needs to take precedence so that we finish it in good time, so that we have the Committee of the Whole in the afternoon, Honorable Speaker. And with that, I beg to move and request the Honorable Cecilia Muge to say, I second.
It's Cynthia Muge.
I second, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable members, I now propose the question that this House resolves to exempt the business appearing as Order number 11 in today's order paper from the provision of Standing Order 43, being a Wednesday morning, a day allocated for business, not sponsored by the majority or minority party or business sponsored by a committee. Honorable members, I now put the question that this House resolves to exempt the business appearing as Order number 11 in today's order paper from the provisions of Standing Order 43, being a Wednesday morning, a day allocated for business not sponsored by the majority or minority party or business sponsored by a committee. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? Nay. The ayes have it. Honorable Jalango just walked in, so I don't think he knew what was happening. He just walked in. So proceed.
Order number 9, the Employment Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 62 of 2023, second reading, resumption of debate.
Yes.
We had very robust debate on this, and I think we having done that, I think it is proper that we call the mover to reply on this so that we move forward. But debate was good, people made their points, contribution, and the mover of this motion, Ditmas Barasa, who I have seen here. I think Honorable Pokose can actually reply on his behalf.
Honorable Pokose.
Honorable Speaker, my colleague has just gone out. Honorable Ditmas Barasa, who is the sponsor of this bill, the Employment Amendment Bills 2023. And on his behalf, I want to thank the members for their contribution.
Honorable Pukose, I
Yes.
realized I needed to put the question before. Honorable members, I now put the question that the Employment Amendment Bill, I now propose the question that the Employment Amendment Bill, Oh, yes. Honorable members, I now put the question that the mover to reply. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Proceed.
Honorable Speaker, on behalf of Honorable Didmas Barasa, member for Kimilili, and the incoming governor for Bungoma, I wish to thank the honorable members for their contribution to this Employment Amendment Bill. This is a very important bill, Honorable Speaker, as you are aware that this bill will be able to resolve many outstanding issues, especially in terms of transfer of people. And you find that sometimes people are transferred as a punishment, and you are transferred to a very harsh environment. And therefore, this has to come to an end. And with this bill being passed, and I want to thank the honorable members on behalf of Honorable Didmas Barasa for their contribution. And with those few remarks, Honorable Speaker, I beg to reply.
Honorable members, I now put the question that the Employment Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 62 of 2023, be read a second time. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
A bill for an act of parliament to amend the Employment Act 207 and for connected purposes. Order number 10, Committee of the Whole House.
Are they ready? Are they ready for the committee stage? Okay.
Inviting the chair to come to the table so that we look like we are, so that we don't just
Want to?
Committee of the whole will take how long? An hour. And this one? It's second reading. 3 hours. So we can go to the
Honorable members, we are now ready to proceed, and we are in the Committee of the Whole House. And the bill that we are handling today is the Basic Education Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 3 of 2025.
Clause 3.
I propose the question that clause 3 be part of the bill. Chair? Mover? And the mover is the Honorable Kajuan, and he has the authority to proceed. He has permission from the Honorable Anthony to proceed. However, because the amendment is by both the Honorable Anthony and the Chair, I propose that the Chair be the first.
Thank you, Chair. I propose that the clause 3 of the bill be amended by deleting the proposed new subsection 1A and substituting therefore the following new subsection. This one, Honorable Chair, is that the proposed amendment 6 to enhance flexibility by deleting the ABET Executive Board to nominate any qualified national office member rather than limiting the representation to the national chairperson. This ensures continuity during the leadership transition and prevents representation gaps and strengthens internal democracy within ABET. So we are actually proposing the deletion of that particular clause 1A. Thank you, Chair.
I propose the question that clause 3 be amended as proposed by the Honorable Chair Education. Honorable TJ, you have a similar amendment, so you may go ahead and comment on this. You have forgotten your password to the card.
Use this.
I think a table office can assist you.
There are too many passwords. Madam Chair, there are too many passwords that we must keep in our heads. And so unfortunately, I forgot those passwords to control this. But Madam Chair, I think we need to, the Chair needs to come forth and explain exactly where we are, because Honorable Oluwach, who is the mover of the bill, is on clause 3 and says that one of the members of the board appointed shall be one from the executive board members in the national office. This is the same information that I hear the chair is saying. I also agree that it should not just be tied to national office, But the thinking here is that if then a board member appointed from the national office and nominated and agreed in the executive board, that would end a lot of crises, a lot of misunderstanding.
Honorable Kajang,
yes.
When you look at the amendment by the Chair Education, the Honorable Meli, and the one that has been proposed by the Honorable Anthony Oloch, is actually the same. Yeah. So,
I was
so
I was trying to understand the difference in what he's proposing.
Now, when you start to understand the difference, you will not be working in the spirit of the Honorable Anthony Oloch, because you realize that they have consulted and it's the same.
Yes,
so
I've also
even
said, in fact, not even thinking of what Honorable Oloch will say, I also say for myself that it would be nice to not to restrict. So can I have the chair's undertaking that we are saying the same thing? Thank you.
Thank you.
So then, can the chair drop his amendments because I'm the mover of the bill? Can the chair drop his amendments if it's the same thing and I'm the mover of the bill so that mine succeeds?
It's inconsequential. You can only agree with the chair.
No, I'm the owner of the bill, so what does it say?
Chair?
Previously, that is through the advice and consultation with Honorable Member from Mathare, we had his earlier proposal was he wanted to appoint board members from among the people down there without consulting an agreement in the national office. But we agreed, and therefore, when I made that proposal, he accepted. We did as an education committee. I didn't know that he went and enacted our proposal. So in effect, this was our amendment, but he accepted. So we are carrying it.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 3 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 3 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clauses 4, 5, and 6.
I propose the question that clauses 4, 5, and 6 be part of the bill. There be no amendment. I now put the question that clauses 4, 5, and 6 be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 7.
I propose the question that clause 7 be part of the bill. Chair?
Yes. Chair, thank you. I propose that clause 7 be deleted. This clause is actually doing, we are amending it because it is dealing with an infrastructure and registration of redundant. It is redundant. In a sense, since this infrastructure is already covered under Section 39E of the Basic Education Act, and ABED institutions are guided by the registration of guidelines of 2015, registration remains essential for access to government services. Further, extending public funding to private institutions without clear audit framework would contravene Article 228(3) of the Constitution of Kenya, Section 7 of the Public Audit Act, Cap 551. So, Chair, we as a committee propose that we delete that because it was actually contravening several sections, yet the registration of ABED schools is well covered in Section 39 of the Basic Education Act. So that's okay.
Thank you. I propose the question that clause 7 be deleted as proposed by the Honorable Meli. So consensus. Honorable members.
The great man from Mathare has just walked in. So therefore that ends my brief. I hereby relinquish my position as the member of Mathare.
Honorable Anthony, would you like to say something about deletion of clause 7? And welcome to the House.
Thank you, Chair, and my apologies for walking in late. Honorable Chair, I think we will agree with that amendment. It does not fundamentally affect the provisions and the gains that we want to put on the bill, so we will allow that amendment by the Chair. Thank you.
Honorable members, I see so many people indicating interest. If you would like to participate in this bill, hit the intervention button. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 7 be deleted as proposed by the chairman. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 8.
I propose the question that clause 8 be part of the bill. There be no amendment. I put the question that clause 8 be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 9.
I propose the question that clause 9 be part of the bill. Honorable Anthony Oluoch.
Chair, I propose that clause 9 be amended as indicated in the order paper. The purpose of this is to replace the clause with a new 43A, where the Cabinet Secretary will recognize ABET as schools, approved schools, as being registered in NEMIS. This would create a more structured recognition, approval, and registration pathway. So it's a question of registration and how that can be used to advance the recognition of the schools. I move.
I propose the question that clause 9 be amended as proposed by the Honorable Anthony Oluoch. Chairman.
Yes, I've heard Honorable Anthony Oluoch, but in effect, clause 9.
Honorable Chair, before you proceed,
yes,
it is important for you to know that if Honorable Oluoch's amendment succeeds, yes, yours falls.
Yes, I want to speak to what Honorable Oluoch has just indicated. And also I want to propose that, as Honorable Oluoch has indicated, in the earlier clause, which we as a committee proposed to delete, it was actually trying to bring in ABET schools to be registered and to be recognized as part of the state-owned schools, which in effect, it cannot be. Because these ABET schools are owned by churches, they are owned by NGOs, they are owned by individuals. So we can't put them in the same line with the state or public schools. What we are proposing as a committee is, if it is a matter of registering alone and without state or public funding, then it would be proper. I hope that is the case. Honorable Oluoch has proposed that in clause 9, if you can read it now, what you have in clause 9, so that we are clear on that. Because if we go as it is, then it will be different. But if you are correcting clause 9 and going to clause 43, then we shall support that.
So, Honorable Chair, you are disagreeing.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
May I please hear other opinions on this?
Chair, could we read the clause as proposed by the Chair?
Yes, member for Emuhaya. We are trying to trace you on the radar.
Honorable Chair, I think Honorable Oluoch and the Chair Education need to quickly move and agree, because these two were the biggest bone of the longest contention, and a veteran is in the House, Wakili, and indeed there was a consensus which they should bring to the floor, because we said instead of making sure that these schools don't get registration and recognition, they simply agree that we begin at a point of recognizing them, and then the funding will follow later. And I think that took a lot of time in many places, in many spaces, including the House Business Committee and the other committees. And as they come on the floor, they should have now agreed on this so that it's seamless. Otherwise, they'll make us go into voting And if we get to that level, you'll find that later on, we may even be called upon to recommit some of these clauses. So they really need to agree because they have been meeting. Thank you.
Honorable TJ, please proceed.
You see, Chair is not listening. Please approach this amendment with an open mind. We are working for the Kenyan children, and we are trying to get these indigent children who, because of circumstances of not their own, they don't access education. So please just make it easy for us as legislators to be able to make the best law possible for these children. And so, Madam Chair, when you look at this, Honorable Watch is very clear that he is appealing for recognition of these schools, which will help the institutions for purposes of regulation. In fact, he's a very responsible member. He's saying that there should be regulations, there should be governance, there should be standards. So all he's doing, it is that to support the regulations which will come. And I have an amendment. I have an amendment which we will come to, which speaks to regulations. If you don't have 43, because the 43 is the foundation, when we will come to the regulation, which I am going to propose on 52H, yeah, therefore, you will find that the Cabinet Secretary, therefore, will originate regulations and governance on this. Number two, please, Chair, even if these organizations, these schools are run by churches and communities, who runs the school is not the issue. The issue is the Kenyan child who must have access to education. And the issue is about Article 43 of the Constitution, social protection. So whoever is managing the school, it is we as government who should mind how we regulate the owners of these schools. We cannot say that we are not going to put them in the same category as public schools, because in that statement, Mr. Chair, you have given us what we cannot speak out there, because it is discrimination. It is against Article 43. So what we should do is that every child, whichever way, whether in what we call public or whether we call them this, it is us who have the mandate to be able to regulate them. So, Madam Chair, in short, although we have agreed with the Chair, I was just trying to create, I was just trying to create a tone, how we can approach this. But we have agreed that Honorable Oluoch is correct in proposing in clause number 9, the addition of 43A. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Kajang. Honorable Chair, are you convinced?
Yes, thank you,
By the
Chair.
two parts, because I was trying to see whether he was bringing a further amendment.
I am convinced because this is about managing, regulating, and administering these schools. That is the very important part. However, even if they are run by which institution, the government has to be in to ensure that standards and the management of those schools are in order. So I agree with the Honorable Watch. Yes.
Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 9 be amended as proposed by the Honorable Oluoch. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 9 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable members, you realize that clause 10 has several amendments, actually 4, so we just go systematically.
Clause 10.
I propose the question that clause 10 be part of the bill. There is an amendment by the Honorable Anthony Oluoch. That is 52B. If it is carried, there is another amendment by the leader of majority party and the chairperson of the committee. If Anthony Oluoch's amendment is carried, then the one by majority leader and the chair falls. So we start with that. That is 252B. You may proceed, Honorable Oluoch.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move the amendments under clause 10 as per the order paper. And the import of this, Madam Chair, would be to remove the word shall, because in our original bill, the word shall imported an indication that an imperative that imposed an obligation, a mandatory obligation upon the government to provide capitation. And when we had mediation on this and consultation with the leadership, is that this would import a money bill implication, which was not the very original intention of the bill. And so we agreed that let us step back, allow ourselves to first get recognition and registration, and live to fight another day on issues of capitation. So we have replaced the word shall with the word may, so that the government, as of now, the hands are not tied and there is no financial obligation. At a later date, we shall come and try and persuade you again, if it is possible, to incorporate these children to also benefit from capitation. So that is the import of the amendment under 52B, and then the proposed new 52, section 52H by deleting...
Don't go there.
Oh, sorry.
We deal with 52B first. Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 10 be amended as proposed by the Honorable Anthony Oluoch. Yes, the Honorable Omboko Milemba.
We were using this. I want to thank Honorable Oluoch because I support Honorable Oluoch's position that the intention is finally to have these schools get funds because they are Kenyan children. But indeed, like he has moved, there was that compromise that we shall fight another day. So I'm impressed with your honesty. Thank you, Honorable Oluoch.
Thank you. The Honorable Peter Orero, member for Kibra.
Thank you, Chair. As much as I want to agree with my colleagues that we fight another day, it is not about fighting another day. It's about looking for better ways to help the Kenyan children. And these are some of, TJ is a lawyer, Oluoch is a lawyer. When we remove shall and replace with may, I want to say that even with that may, the government in the future might just find it well to include them. They are not obligated, but if they will feel that these are really Kenyan children, then they will give us the monies that we require. So we are not saying we will fight another day. We are just saying that we are giving a position that will allow the government also some leeway to act. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Ajahn.
Madam Chair, let me weigh in this shall and may. Although the chair seemed to think, and Oluoch agrees, that the change of may makes it better for government as of today, nothing is far from the truth. May can be used, which means either discretional or directory. In this use where we are, it is actually directory. Chair, look at this. Once this education sector have been recognized, your hands are tied. You have to bring a budget proposal to this house. You have to do, the ministry must do planning, They must do policy. They must find where money is. You must bring to us a budget proposal that covers this group of people. So whether you use may or shall, in my view, and a considered view, the use of may here is directory. So while I support Honorable Oluoch for being magnanimous in trying to, and being also expeditious, I think Honorable Orero is right, that once we have passed this, we don't even have to come with another legislation here. We will only come on a budget day and ask the chair what he has done about this group of people. Thank you.
Honorable members, I would like to go ahead and put the question on the first amendment. Okay, Chair.
Yes. Thank you, Chair. Chair, I want to speak to this and agree with Honorable Watch. We did had a give and take on this. The reason is that these are Kenyans, and in future when the economy grows and when we have better resources, they have a right to be funded. It is part of our population. And we did agree that so that it doesn't become a money bill and become a burden to this house, we decided to use the word may, which in effect, in future, it shall be, as Honorable Kajuang has indicated, it will take the position of giving a direction to the government. And it will not be for the interest of anyone, it is for the interest of the nation. I support that particular amendment.
Thank you, honorable members. I'm now going to go ahead and push the question on the first amendment. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 10 be amended as proposed by the Honorable Oluoch. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? There is have it. Okay. So, honorable members, we now go to the second amendment, which is by the chair, which affects clause 52G. Please proceed. And please take note that it's a deletion. Honorable Meli. He's consulting, so take your time, Chair.
Yes, 52G, yes. Honorable Chair, I propose that clause 52G be deleted. Chair, that proposal is because the Cabinet Secretary cannot directly determine levies charged by ABET institutions due to their private ownership. An attempt to fix their fees or levies would conflict with the Basic Education Act and the rights. What actually we are trying to say is that, yes, the CS cannot just indicate what levies the private schools or the ABET schools can charge. And yet, the ownership and all the management of the school are not in the direct mandate of the government. But he can regulate and give direction on policies, how the schools can run. So I propose that this particular section be deleted.
Thank you, honorable members. Honorable members, I now propose the question, which is that clause 10 be amended as proposed by the Honorable Meli. I now put the question that clause 10 be amended as proposed by the Honorable Meli. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? There is have it. I now go to the third amendment, which is by the Honorable Anthony Oluoch, and it touches on 52H. So if Honorable Oluoch's amendment to 52H is carried, the amendment by the leader of majority party and the committee chairperson will automatically fall. So please proceed.
Honorable Chair, I move the amendments under clause 10, touching on 52H as per the order paper. And the purport of this, Madam Chair, is to insert the following new sections immediately after the proposed section 52H. And it is to put conditions for the registration of ABET schools.
Honorable Oluoch, I think you are reading the wrong clause. Please
Is
make
it-
reference
okay.
to 52H.
This is the one under clause 10B. Yes. So let me take this again. Chair, I move the amendments under clause 10 be as per the order paper, and just like the initial one, under 52H, we are deleting the word shall, appearing immediately after the word government, and substituting therefore the word may, and the arguments I advanced in my initial argument apply to this one, to which the chair agreed. I so move.
Thank you. Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 10, touching on 52H, be amended as proposed by the Honorable Oluoch. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Will as many as have contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 10 be amended. I'll go to C first. Honorable Meli, before I put the question.
It's okay.
Can you be on record? You agree?
Yes, I agree with the changing of shall into may. I have no problem with it. Yes.
Thank you, honorable members. I now put the question that clause 10 be amended as proposed by the Honorable Oluoch. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable members, now we can go to the fourth amendment. So this one touches on 52HA, 52HB, and 52HC by both the leader of the majority party and by the Honorable Anthony Oluoch. And if this amendment is carried, the one by the leader of majority party and the Honorable Anthony Oluoch is carried, the amendment by the Honorable Gachagua will automatically fall. So let us proceed with that in mind. Honorable Anthony? Yes.
I think the best thing is we take each by step, because, no, don't shake your hands, your head. You give me a negative vibe. The thing is, in my amendment, there is subsection 2, which is peculiar to what the leader of majority is saying and Honorable Oluoch. You need to understand that. And so, in fact, I would really ask that, because my amendment is bringing a new import, subsection 2. In this case, therefore, I should be the first person to be heard on it. It is a new import. There is subsection 2, which is very important in regulating the whole of 52 HA. I don't know if I'm clear, Madam Chair.
The Honorable Gachagua and the Honorable Oluoch to approach the table, please.
The issue is, you see what we
Section 2
yes.
includes a time by which the regulation should be made. 3 months. That's the only thing.
Yes, I've read yours.
The rest are
but that your time is too short. Imagine a countrywide regulation.
I consulted with the legal clerk.
Yes, let's do practicability. Yeah. You and ourselves, we've been in this house. To me, I believe at least in 6 months should be.
The only thing is,
yes.
in the other amendment which will come,
yes,
in the transition,
which we have told them,
to give 6 months, which the athletes schools should have applied for registration. So that is why, if we got a shorter period of time, they bring in the regulations, then allows these people to register with
wonder, because I'm seeing the practicability of 3 months, I want us to all of us to look at it.
So we can allow him to do a further amendment.
I want to do a further amendment.
Make it 6 months.
Make it 6 months, and then maybe now the consequential part of running the registering apex schools, put it 1 year. Because these guys, yes.
I'm okay.
Yes.
I'm all right. So
Because,
that can be drafted.
yes.
But Madam Chair, should I have a written amendment, a further amendment?
Yes, you have further amendment, you have to.
On the tape on the floor.
Yes.
But I like direction of this Chair. There is this that does not touch on the regulation.
Close what?
This 10C, I am putting in a new clause 52H3.
10?
No, they're the same. These are not part of what you use. They are not part of it. What is touching on yours is now 52H3. That is why I, Madam Chair, we take them one after the other. So we do A, 52HA, and I take 52HB, and then we allow TJ to now come and place a further amendment of 52HC. So let him draft it as a moving amendment on 52HA.
You agree with that, Chair?
Which one is that?
No, remember, on this order paper, I have 52HA on regulation. These are touching on governance structures.
No, that one is okay.
So I can move this as TJ does.
Yes.
He's drafting.
Governance and regulations, they are okay. They are actually bringing order in the sector.
So I can be allowed to move 52HA and 52HB.
That is, those are new ones.
So let someone assist you to draft. So, Honorable Watch, you are going to move 52HA and 52HB as the legal team deals with 52HC together with the Honorable Kajwang. You may proceed.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move that the bill be amended at clause 10, as per clause 10, as per the order paper. And this would bring a 52HA, in which we are trying to bring sanity to how the ABET schools are managed, creating governance structures, governance bodies, management structures, financial accountability, and also putting in place systems where management and maintenance of records can be put in place and best practices. It is also bringing in the idea of adequate, safe, physical, suitable infrastructure for purposes as may be prescribed by the cabinet minister, and those prescriptions are left to the regulation. There is also requirement that any ABET schools that operates must show proof of a physical, lawful, physical location. So we cannot have an ABET school that just operates and we don't know where it is. Actually, so there is a, yes.
Honorable Oluoch, if you go that way, we are going to take a very long time.
Okay, so
you remember
I have given
we debated,
the gist.
And now we are in the committee of the whole house. So be as brief,
okay,
as brief as you can.
So 52HA simply brings accountability structures, systems, management, and records in the management of schools. And I move and ask that the members support this provision. Thank you.
But since you really wanted to explain, I want to give you more time. You seem to be very, you seem to want to explain that. So I give you another 2 minutes. Please go ahead.
I think we can allow Honorable, I've already explained, and it is on the order paper. It's really about the system, structures, and management. And this came out during debate at the second reading, that members wanted to see the management and accountability structures on how this can be done. I so move.
Thank you. The Honorable Omboko Milemba, member for Emuhaya.
I really agree with everything that Honorable Oluoch has said. And therefore
52 HA and 52 HB.
No, Honorable Chair, when he spoke the second time, I think he was able to solve whatever gray that was inside me. So I think it's well explained. Thank you.
Honorable members, I now propose the question that clause 10, particularly touching on
52HA and 52HB be amended as proposed by the Honorable Anthony Oluoch. I now go ahead and put the question because I do not see any further interest in this. I now put the question that clause 10, touching on 52HA and 52HB, be amended as proposed by the Honorable Anthony Oluoch. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I would now like to go to 52HC and give a chance to the Honorable Kajwang.
HB, B first.
We actually did both 52HA and 52HB. You prosecuted them together. So now we are on 52HC by the Honorable Kajwang. I call upon the legal counsel to
I'm ready.
finalize.
26th. It's 26th. So Honorable TJ, you'll go ahead and move HC in an amended form.
Yeah. First of all, I think let us deal with the further amendment that I move that 5HC be further amended to replace the word 6 for 3. I think you need to put the, Madam Chair, probably you need to put the question on the further amendment from 3 to 6, meaning I'm asking that the word 3 be replaced with the word 6.
You know, Honorable Kajwang, you have not even moved. So please go ahead and move, then we can deal with it.
I see. Yeah, so Madam Chair, I move as per the order paper, clause touching on 52HC.
Honorable members, I now propose the question that clause 10, specifically touching on 52HC, be amended as proposed by the Honorable Kajwang, TJ Kajwang.
I therefore move a further amendment on 52HC subsection 2, that the words 3 be replaced with the words 6. The import of that amendment would be therefore to ask the Cabinet Secretary to publish his regulations within 6 months instead of the initial that I've proposed 3 months. I realize that 3 months would be quite a tight or a short period of time. If the regulations are published within 6 months, they come to the House to the delegated legislation, and within 7 days, they have to be laid before us here, and we have to process them within period of time. I also, because we have consulted with the chair, when I will come to my amendments proposed in the transition, I will be asking that period be extended to 1 year, so that 6 months publication of the regulation, allowing a period for us to process that regulation, and then learners can apply within 1 year of those regulations. So, Madam Chair, I propose that further amendment. I think we need to deal with it. We need to take a vote on it first.
Honorable members, I'll put the question 2 times. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 10, touching on 52C, touching on 52HC, be amended as proposed by the Honorable Kajwang. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable members, I now put the question again that clause 10, touching on 52C, is further amended by the Honorable TJ Kajwang, be amended further as proposed by the Honorable TJ Kajwang. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable members, now that we have gone through all the amendments, I would like now to put the global question. Honorable members, I put the question that clause 10 be part of the bill. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 11.
I propose the question that clause 11 be part of the bill. There be no amendment. I put the question that clause 11 be part of the bill. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 12.
I propose the question that clause 12 be part of the bill, Honorable Chairman. And remember that this is a deletion.
Thank you. Thank you. Clause 12 be deleted, and this is entirely on funding of private institutions contrary to the legal framework, and public resources under the Basic Education Act are strictly or directed into public schools established by the state or by the government. In effect, this deletion is actually trying to make sure that we follow the dictates of the Basic Education Act. I know Honorable Member for Madare went further to do amendments to it, to some sections of this, but the committee saw it fit that we cannot fund private institutions across the country using public resources. I propose deletion.
Honorable members, I now propose the question that clause 12 be deleted as proposed by the chairman. The Honorable Antonio Lodge.
Chair, while I agree in principle on the issue of the funding because of the money bill implication, I do need to go on record because I have labored to try and convince the committee, including the chair. There is no third tier public schools that we are creating called UPBET. There are only 2 sets of schools under the Basic Education Act. One is public, the other one is private. UPBET schools are not private schools, and we are not asking the government to fund private schools. When that sinks, then we will be on the same page. What we are saying is there is some schools that operate within informal settlements, and under Article 43 of the Constitution, there is some exclusion that is happening. So within the confines of public schools, we accommodate these informal schools that operate there. They are still part of our public. They are not private. The governance structures that we have already passed already speak to that question, why this category of public schools within a certain lane in informal settlements must meet the governance structures, leadership, accountability, and financial, so that we don't live here that these app-based schools are private schools. They are not. So I hope that settles on our mind that when we are passing this bill, we are not creating a funding mechanism for private schools. App-based are not. In fact, in the long run, we are seeking to mainstream them so that they come to the same level to the mainstream public schools in the manner they operate. I thank you.
Honorable Chair.
Yes, alternative provision of basic education and training is actually not private per se, but the management, the operations do not meet the standards of a public school. That is the only thing. What we are trying to do, I agree with you, Honorable Kajwang and Honorable Member for Mathare, yes, but they have to be mainstreamed to the level is required. So that's why the deletion, and I want to thank you because you have agreed with my deletion, so that we actually maintain the standards in the public schools. Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes, Honorable Ombo.
I came specifically for this because we really had wanted the schools to be funded. But you remember, the honorables, we one time fell in the same trap with universities and ended up started funding private universities without making a proper law, Daktari. And you can see how far we went. So, Honorable Lord, you have done a very good job. Let's mainstream them and then they start getting the funding. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Members. Honorable Members, I now put the question that clause 12 be deleted as proposed by the Honorable Chairman. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
New clause 13.
Mover to move the second reading of new clause. Yeah, the three of you actually. We have Leader of Majority Party, the Honorable Anthony Oluoch, and the Honorable TJ Kajwang. Any of you can move. Move second reading, Honorable Kajwang, if you're ready.
Madam Speaker, I hereby move that clause 13 be read a second time. New clause 13 be read a second time.
Honorable members, I propose the question that new clause 13 be now read a second time. I do not see any interest in this, so I'll, yes, Chairman? You can consult. Chairman?
We've consulted with the mover, TJ, and we're in agreement. So it's just to do a further amendment to make 6 to 12 months. I think he needs to pronounce himself on that. Clause 14.
We are on 13. So we can proceed with 13. Honorable members, I now put the question that new clause 13 be now read a second time. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? As many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now propose the question that new clause 13 be part of the bill. I do not see any interest, so I now put the question that new clause 13 be part of the bill. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? And the ayes have it.
New clause 14.
Madam Speaker, I move that new clause 14 be read a second time.
Before you go there, I would like to call upon you to move new clause 14. First of all, move.
I move, Madam Chair, that new clause 14 be read a second time.
Honorable members, I propose the question that new clause 14 be now read a second time.
Madam Speaker, I have a further amendment to new clause 14, and I seek to replace the word 6 with 12, meaning that the period for which learners would have to apply or directors would have to apply under the update to the cabinet secretary should be 12 months instead of 6 months.
Honorable Kajwang, let's proceed this way. Because you already have an amendment, we first of all deal with that amendment.
Fine.
Okay. That's all right. So, honorable members, I now put the question that new clause 14 be now read a second time. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now propose the question that new clause 14 be part of the bill. Actually, it has to
that, yes.
Please move.
Yes, I move that new clause 14 be further amended by deleting the word 6, replacing with 12. It therefore means that the upbet schools would have to apply within 12 months to be registered under the regulations that will be set by this cabinet secretary. This is consistent with what we have done before, allowing the cabinet secretary to give his regulations within 6 months. And so within 6 months, after we have processed, the schools now can apply within 12 months to be able to be registered. I so move.
Honorable members, I now propose that new clause 14 be further amended as proposed by the Honorable Kajwang. Yes, Honorable Julius Meli.
I didn't intend to speak to this, but I want to say that the amendments are actually administrative and they are procedural in the sense that immediately this bill comes into force, schools have no enough time. They really need to go to the regulations, make sure that they meet the standards, and the registration process is a bit tedious. And it's across most of the urban areas and the far-flung nomadic regions where we have now expanded the urban schools reach B. So it is not as easy as Honorable TJ had intended first, but I want to thank him because he has seen the magnitude of the work the urban schools are going to have in being registered. So I support the movement of the timelines from 6 to 1 year. Thank you.
Honorable Toroitich, member for Marakwet West.
Chair, I rise to support the proposed amendment, further amendment to that provision. Honorable Chair, 6 months is quite unreasonable.
Honorable Timothy Toroitich.
Yes, Chair.
Are you supporting the further amendment by the Honorable Kajwang?
Yes, yes,
okay.
I support the further amendment. Honorable Chair, 12 months is also within the budget cycle, so that if there is any monetary implication, then it can be factored in. Further, Honorable Chair, we've said that the regulations need to be adopted within the 6 months period. So having the same run concurrently would be a bit unreasonable. So 12 months is reasonable in this context. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Honorable Owen Baya.
Thank you. I stand to support We had a similar amendment ourselves in the majority side, the majority leader, and we agree that 6 months would have been very, very tight. And taking cognizance that we moved the regulations to 6 months, it's important that we also move this transition to 12 months, and therefore we support. Thank you.
Honorable members, I now put the question that new clause 14 be further amended as proposed by the Honorable T.J. Kajwang. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that new clause 14 be part of the bill. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 2.
I propose the question that clause 2 be part of the bill. We have an amendment by the chair. If the chair's amendment is carried, the amendment by the leader of majority party and the one for the Honorable Anthony Oluoch will automatically fall. Please proceed, Honorable Chair.
Thank you, Chair. The committee's amendment, my amendment actually intends to expand the definition of ABET to include schools in far-flung areas of this country, especially in the nomadic regions, or so that every child has a right to basic education. Previously, ABET had actually been confined to the slums, or what we call the informal settlements. So that particular definition is actually to expand to include those people in the far-flung parts of this country where they can actually get this basic education, provision of basic education and training. I move that particular amendment. Thank you.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 2 be amended as proposed by the Honorable Chairman. Honorable Peter Orero, member for Kibra.
It's just a point of information. We have quite a number of students in our gallery. Would you just get time to recognize them?
Well, thank you. It will be done. Normally we wait for it to be processed up to the table. It will be done. Honorable members, I do not see any further interest in this, so I now put the question. Yes, Majority Leader, the Honorable Owen Bayer.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we had a similar amendment, and I think I agree with the Chair that to provide a clearer definition of what constitutes an ABET school for the purpose of the Act, we adopt the proposed amendment by the Chair so that we include, we don't just restrict ABET to slum and all that, but all Kenyans that can get education through ABET should be able to get that education, and therefore we support.
Thank you. Honorable Anthony Oluoch, would you like to say something on this? You had an amendment?
Chair, I had a similar amendment. I do agree with the proposed amendment as moved by the Chair. I support.
Thank you. Who is there? Toroitich. Honorable Timothy Toroitich, member for Marakwet West.
Chair, I think this is a progressive amendment. Chair, limiting ABET schools to only schools within, as initially it was within Nairobi and areas that have slums. But Mr. Speaker, opening up to include marginalized areas, areas where there are vulnerable communities, and other areas, because other areas opens up to other areas which were not initially provided for under the proposed amendment. So, Honorable Speaker, I support this particular provision of opening up the definition of ABET.
Thank you. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 2 be amended as proposed by the Honorable Chair for Education. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? There is have it. I now put the question that clause 2 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. So, honorable members, seated in the speakers gallery this morning, we have students from Kiamogumo Girls School, from Geshogo constituency in Kirinyaga County. You may stand to be recognized. Thank you. We also have students from Kariki Comprehensive School, Daragwa constituency, Nyandarua County. You are welcome to the National Assembly, and now I'll give a chance to the honorable member for Kibra, who really wanted you to be recognized, to welcome you to the House.
Thank you, Chair. You know, when the students get time to reach this August House, it is a memorable moment. They have traveled all the way from Nyandarua and Rishugu. And when they come here, they see the procedures of the House, and this gives them the determination to define their future. And some of them maybe would like to be politicians in the future and represent their country in various capacities. I take this opportunity as a member of Kibra constituency and a member of this August House, on behalf of all the members of the August House, welcome these students to this House. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Honorable KJ, please go to your place so that you can also make a comment. Please give the Honorable KJ a mic.
Honorable Speaker, I want to truly thank you. And I'm joining my neighbor, the Honorable Mwalimu Orero, to welcome these most amazing learners from our area and our jurisdiction, because we share we share a border with Mheshimiwa Orero, and some of the students, Madam Speaker, that you see in this most amazing school that Honorable Orero is developing are from our constituency, Madam Speaker. And I want to invite these learners to the House of Parliament to see where all laws in Kenya are made. It is to remind the learners that there is no law that is made in the courts, that if they see any law, it is made in this house. And I want to refer them to a textbook called, which talks about Hammurabi the lawgiver, and let them know that this is the house that gives laws to this country. And we make these laws for the welfare of society and the just government of the people. Madam Speaker, allow me to interest the learners, for some of them to take some interest in civics in our country, to understand the history of our country, and to also to aspire to come and represent their people in this very esteemed house, where the laws are made and where the budget of this country is made. And allow me, Madam Speaker, to say to them that we wish them the best in their life as they become the best that they can ever be. Welcome, and I join my neighbor, Honorable Orero Mwalimu, in thanking them. And please follow the proceedings of this very important bill that has come to the House, brought by yet another teacher who was my colleague, the Honorable Wakili Oluoch, on the Basic Education Amendment, which affects their learning and affects the way we carry out education in this country. Madam Speaker, I'm profusely thankful for that opportunity. Asante sana.
Thank you.
Title?
I propose the question that the title be the title of the bill. There be no amendment. I put the question that the title be the title of the bill. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Aye. As many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 1.
I propose the question that clause 1 be part of the bill. There be no amendment. I put the question that clause 1 be part of the bill. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now call upon the mover to move reporting. Mover? Honorable Watch. Please go ahead and move reporting.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I beg to move that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the Basic Education Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill, number 3 of 2025, and its approval thereof with amendments. I thank you.
Thank you very much. I now put the question, which is that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the Basic Education Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 3 of 2025, and its approval thereof with amendments. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Honorable members, Madam Speaker,
Chairperson, report to the House.
Thank you, Madam. Honorable Speaker, I begged to report that the Committee of the Whole House has considered the Basic Education Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 3 of 2025, and approved the same with amendments.
Thank you. Mover of the bill, Anthony Oloch.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. I also request the Honorable TJ Kajwang to second the motion for agreement with the report of the Committee of the Whole House.
Go ahead, Honorable Wakili Kajwang.
Madam Speaker, you are not looking at me.
Oh, he decided to bow. Honorable members, I propose the question, which is that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. Honorable members, I'll go ahead and put the question, which is that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now call upon the mover to move the third reading.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the Basic Education Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 3 of 2025, be now read a third time. I also request now the Honorable Mwalimu Orero to second.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I second.
You can make some comment? Yes. Let me propose first. I now propose the question, which is that the Basic Education Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 3 of 2025, be now read a third time. Yes, you may. Let me give the first opportunity to the majority.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to say from the onset that the Honorable Oluoch has made us very, very, very proud in passing this bill. Because in this country, someone told me that poverty in the towns, in the cities, is deeper than poverty in the rural. Because in these towns, and especially in the slums, you know, for you to eat, for you to educate, for you to do anything, you must have money. In the rural, you might miss money to buy food, but you might have a small farm where you can pluck some vegetable, grow some little maize, and have some food. Also, you can also sell some of those small things and make money for fees, for many things, and for school. But in the slums of the city, where the Honorable Luoch, Honorable Kajwang, Honorable Rero come from, we need a different approach to empower kids and families for education and to help those families to come out of poverty, deeply entrenched poverty in the slum. We need an approach, and the best approach is to empower them through education. And the education system that we have in this country has not favored the young children in those slums. But this one that we have had the pleasure to debate and to pass at third reading, Honorable Speaker, is a game changer, is a big milestone to the education, not only in the slums, but in the whole country. I look forward to the days when these young people that we are passing this law for today will say, surely Anthony Oluoch did us justice. I'm in university today because the bill that Anthony Oluoch passed. I have this big job today because if it weren't for the bill that you passed in the 13th Parliament, we would not have had this opportunity. So Oluoch and your team, we want to thank you. And we want to thank you for the passion. And this government wants, on behalf of majority, I want to say thank you for struggling for these many years to ensure that eventually we have a law that, and I want to ask the people that we have bequeathed the honor and the responsibility to ensure the implementation of this act, that they do act accordingly. We have given them 6 months to do the regulations and 1 year to ensure that everything is in order so that these schools, and I look forward to the time when we'll come and change the may to shall, so that it is mandatory for government to provide resources for those schools so that our young people in the slums also become part of the Kenyan nation that grows this country and takes it forward. I thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I support.
The Honorable TJ Kajwang.
Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker, I want to congratulate Honorable Oluoch immensely. He has taken a big shoulder off our backs. It's been a long time, 30 years plus, struggling to get this information in the ears of the executive. And I'm proud that even though this bill did not come from the executive, it has come from this house. That in itself makes me proud that when the executive is asleep, we as members, legislators, can do certain things to make them move. This is not just competition. I just want to say to those members who think that everything must come from executive, you and I have a role to make laws. You can do things here without the executive coming to us, and those laws would be regarded. Number two, I thank you for the good words, Majority Leader. You do not know that you speak to our hearts, that one day the government, the Ministry of Education, will lay a budget formula, policy formula, that can get these children to school. A lot of things are being done by this government, which is very, very good. In support of Article 43, you can see the housing infrastructure. Somebody thought, and I am greatly indebted to President Ruto. He thought somewhere in a corner and found out how we can wake up those spaces of land and build high-rise facilities to protect Article 43. Now I want him to go and sit in another corner after he has been elected, because I am sure he's going to be elected. He should sit in another corner and think on how we can provide education to these indigent children. I am sure working with that kind of thinking, something will pop up. Something will pop up and we will have a way of actually funding these young people to education. And so, Madam Speaker, we also want to thank you because you are gracious enough to have understood. I know that you know about rural Kenya, but living in this city is a big challenge. And so out there, I want to ask that the President would accent this act immediately, this bill immediately, so that Treasury would, so that Jogo House would change their thinking, because we have now laid a policy. They would have changed their thinking in approach to the young people who are thirsty for education. I thank you so much.
The Honorable KJ.
Madam Speaker, I stand proudly declaring that I am a teacher. And I want to acknowledge too that I did go to school with the Honorable Anthony Oluoch. And he himself, before he was a wakili, he was an artist and an educator. I also see in the house my neighbor, the Mwalimu Orero. And we cannot say how grateful we are today, this morning, to see this happen. I also must call out the Honorable Chairperson of Education and recognize what he has been able to do in the journey of enacting this bill that was brought by Honorable Anthony Oluoch, reminding myself that even the gracious lady who is sitting on the speaker's seat is herself a teacher by training. That what we have done this morning, Madam Speaker, is great for education in our country for a time such as this. Honorable Oluoch, you should be extremely proud for the work that you have brought to Parliament this morning in the name of this bill that seeks out to equalize education in our city and in our country. Madam Speaker, most might not understand that the majority of our learners in the city of Nairobi actually go to schools that are called alternative providers of education. You can imagine a child being taken to a school that is being termed as alternative, meaning that these are children who are seen not to be mainstream. The efforts that has gone in today morning in Parliament, Madam Speaker, has been an effort to mainstream the child of Dagoretti South, the child of Nairobi, into mainstream education. How does this become important, Madam Speaker? It is because we know that education can change the fortunes of an individual, the fortunes of a society, and the fortunes of a country. So, Madam Speaker, each time we speak about our journey towards Singapore, we must always be reminded that the journey towards the first world shall be informed by skills. And these skills are not just basic skills. They are relevant skills that the country needs to upgrade ourselves from what is referred to as the third world to what we are looking to be a first world country. So even as we are making the efforts of moving this country into the first world, we must be reminded that the software is education. And so, Madam Speaker, I stand to commend the Honorable Oluoch for his impressive work in the 12th Parliament and in the 13th Parliament, and I stand to support him in his effort to see that this basic education amendment bill is enacted, and calling upon the chairperson of education to rein in on the ministry. As it is, they are behind even with the laws that already exist. What we imagine education to be in Kenya is not what it is. And so this House must step up to the plate and ensure, if we are talking about capitation, the ministry should be able to effect that which we pass here. If we are talking about the quality of education in the syllabus, then we must make sure that the quality of education in the syllabus is as prescribed by our guiding principles. So, Madam Speaker, this is not a bill for Honorable Oluoch. It is not a bill for Nairobi. This is a bill for Kenya, and it speaks to the bigger picture that we see Kenya developing into. And so, Madam Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity, and I started by reminding you that you yourself are an educator, and I must remind the House that it is the great Martin Luther King who tells us that the function of education is to teach one to be able to think intensively and to think critically, and that intelligence plus character is the goal of true education. That we are looking to see our children come from those mabati contraptions, come out of those cardboard contraptions, come to an education setting that allows themselves to develop their faculties to the level where they can think critically, they can think intensively, and so that they can get some intelligence and they can get some character, because that is the true goal of education, as espoused in our guiding principles, in our constitution, and even in these laws that we are passing. Madam Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity, and congratulations, Mwalimu, Honorable Wakili Anthony Oluoch. Thank you very much.
Thank you, honorable members. I see several of you have indicated that you would like to comment. So make quick comments. The chairperson, education, and member for Tinderet.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to commend two members of Parliament, Honorable T.J. Kajwang and Honorable member for Mathare. that they have been very, very vocal and insistent in trying to have this bill through. I want to commend the members of the Education Committee. In fact, in their effort, they actually came to the committee, asked, with the support of members of Kibra, that we move across the slums before we discuss this particular bill. I personally visited Madare with Honorable Lodge. A number of members we visited Kibra, informal settlements, and several other slums across the city. The members of the Education Committee watched and heard from the citizens of this country how their alternative provision of basic education at first hand, how schools, how students went through those particular schools, and finally went into the mainstream senior school through those particular mabatis, the small contraptions, and many others. Alternative basic education and training, Madam Speaker, has a long history. It dates back to 2020, the new Constitution 2010. And in fact, the Education Committee went to the US way back in 2013, 2014, and what we call US charter schools. And the late member for Gibra, Honorable Koth, and many of the Education Committee members then, where I've sat for quite some time, saw how the US government has managed to provide alternative basic education schools in US charter schools in almost the similar way that we have actually passed the bill here. Kenyans, especially Kenyan cities and Kenyan towns, have big problem of schooling, especially on the land sizes, on the building, the standard of buildings, but this will not actually make government give an excuse of not giving education to these Kenyans, because it's not their choice. The cost of land and the size of the building and where the building is situated should not be an impediment to providing full education for Kenyans across the country. This bill, with the regulations that Honorable two members have actually given in with the assistance of the Majority Leader, and the canvassing that has gone through this bill, will actually see hundreds of thousands of Kenyans enjoy an education system that is accommodative and actually available for all of us. Honorable TJ, you actually did and indicate that the changes of the words may and shall are actually directive, and it will actually be given in due course, 2-3 years when the economy is well. The government should be in a position to provide the basic education for all in the country, irrespective of where the schools are and how they are managed. It is only about mainstreaming them, and we shall have them done well. Congratulations to this House, and congratulations to the support of all the members of the Education Committee. I support that. Thank you.
Honorable Timothy Toroitich, member for Marakwet. Quick comments, we have agreed
Chair.
on the time.
Chair, I wish to take this opportunity to salute the Honorable Anthony Alwaj for this progressive amendment to the Basic Education Act. Honorable Speaker, Article 43 of our Constitution provides in very clear terms that education is a fundamental basic right. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, this is one of the ways of actualizing and realizing the benefits of Article 43 of our Constitution. Honorable Speaker, informal settlements, children in informal settlements and marginalized areas in this country have had challenges, especially where there are inadequate provision of basic facilities in those institutions. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, I wish to congratulate the Honorable Member. And Honorable Speaker, this particular provision has also opened up, apart from informal settlements, we have added the definition of alternative provision of basic education training to include marginalized areas, vulnerable communities, and other areas where access to formal education in schools is inadequate. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, we are realizing the benefits of Article 43 of our Constitution, and therefore, for me, this is very progressive. Congratulations, the Honorable Anthony Luwach.
The Honorable Gitonga Morugara, and we'll do 1 minute so that
Yes.
we move to other
Thank you very
business
much,
of the House.
Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, let me commend the two advocates who are also members of this House. It shows that advocates understand education matters, and we are led by yet another advocate, the CS for Education, the Honorable Julius Ogamba, who is doing very well in that ministry. I commend the Committee on Education. Again, they've done a fantastic job. We are all up to getting education to the required standards in this country so that our children can actually get the best. It doesn't have to be in the urban areas, but even in the rural areas. We must improve on our schools' infrastructure, we must provide capitation, and the children must learn. Thank you very much, the two advocates.
Honorable Peter Orero, member for Kibra. 1 minute.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I want to really congratulate my colleague, Honorable Oloch, for bringing up this bill. Now, these two colleagues, TJ and Oloch, are also my mentors in terms of the procedures of the House. But in this, I want to say that the upbed schools in our constituencies, the informal settlement, are more than the public schools. Like in my constituency, I only have 11 public schools and over 150 upbed schools. It means, therefore, that the children in my constituency go to upbed school, yet these schools have never been recognized in law. Now, this is a milestone in our history in terms of education advancement and in terms of also provision of quality education in some of those areas that are believed to be informal settlement. But now again that it has been moved to other areas, the nomadic areas, vulnerable regions, it means therefore that the Kenyan children will benefit more.
The Honorable Millie Thiambo, member for Suba, and
thank you,
and Minority Whip.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. Madam Speaker, I want to thank Honorable Anthony Oloch for bringing this bill. And Madam Speaker, as a passionate advocate for vulnerable and marginalized groups, I really do think this is a milestone in ensuring access to education for those categories, especially children in informal settlements. But our final aspiration is to scale up our education standards so that eventually the upbeds will be history. Once more, thank you, Honorable Anthony Oloch, and congratulations.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Beatrice Elachi, member for Dagoretti North.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I also want to thank my colleague and to really thank Anthony Oloch. He has been very consistent on this, and I think as we move forward, the most important thing, especially in this CBC system, is even as we look at the upbed schools, we want the ministry to really look at them so that all our children get a favorable way of education and not feeling that one is more superior than the other. And therefore, Madam Speaker, I beg to support, and I hope the ministry will look at the amendments and support us. Thank you, Madam.
Thank you. The Honorable Susan Kiamba, member for makwiny.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I also take this opportunity to congratulate our colleague, Honorable Oloch, because of this very important bill. I think this bill offsets a long-standing bias against children in the informal sector. And I think it's a bill that is responding to a need, and actually urgent need. So congratulations, Oloch, for uplifting this very now, these children who really we should actually have been serving long time ago, and because of absence of this bill, they have actually been suffering. I would actually ask the committee, the implementation committee and the ministry to move with speed, because this bias cannot continue being there. It is actually, I was almost to say sinful, that the people we ought to serve, we have not been serving them adequately. Thank you, Honorable.
Honorable Anthony.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker and members, my colleagues. Today I feel very proud. What began nearly 9 years ago, because this is something I began in the 12th Parliament, and in the 12th Parliament the bill went and lapsed, and we began and introduced this bill again in this. It has not been easy. It has been a learning curve. We have had to haggle, sometimes argue, sometimes lose temper, as I did in the last sitting. So I want to thank the majority side. I want to thank the leadership. I want to thank the clerk. And I want to thank the Speaker and the Honorable TJ Kajwang, who has helped in the mediation when the bill would have died because of the very, very sensitive question of the money bill issue. It is not easy. The Constitution actually contemplates that money is a scarce resource, but that cannot be an excuse. It is not an excuse for exclusion. And this government has been very, very consistent of this. The President has been at the very center of ensuring that we mainstream people in education. He has done that when he gave 1 billion to Nairobi schools in terms of infrastructure. And even after doing that, imagine that in Mathare, I still have 32,000 school-going students out of 52 that still go to alternative. Honorable KJ has contextualized it when he says, imagine being classified and called alternative. That way you are like Wakando in a marriage where you're called your alternative to this arrangement. In the Constitution 2010 and 10 years, tomorrow we are celebrating, I think the President will be leading us at KICC. 16 years. Imagine being called alternative. And so you will not know how much you have done just to recognize them. And that's when I started by saying that window alone, that waingize tu kichwa, just to be known and recognized that they exist, is a real milestone. Hiyo tu kuingiza, we can fight the other things later. Wameingiza kichwa. And now they are in the table where they can now discuss, and in future we can now say, these children are now not children of a lesser God, they are children of the Republic of Kenya.
Thank you. Honorable members, I now put the question, which is that the Basic Education Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 3 of 2025, be now read a third time. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
A bill for an act of parliament to amend the Basic Education Act 2013 and for connected purposes.
Honorable members, before we go to the next order, which is 11, I would like us to go to order number 5, so that we can give a chance to the chairman, JLAC, to lay a paper. You may proceed, Chairman.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House today, Wednesday, 26th August 2026. Report of the Departmental Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs on its consideration of the Trust Administration Bill, National Assembly Bill number 29 of 2026. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Next order.
Order number 11, the Trust Administration Bill, National Assembly Bill number 29 of 2026, second reading, resumption of debate.
Honorable members, this is resumption of debate on the Trust Administration Bill, National Assembly Bill number 29 of 2026. So those who may have interest, you may go ahead and debate. Chairman?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise to support the bill, the Trust Administration Bill, which is National Assembly Bill number 29 of 2026. We have just laid the report, which report I urge all the members to obtain a copy and familiarize themselves with it. In a nutshell, first and foremost, I wish to thank the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee the members, and some of whom may be present to debate the bill, we actually went through the bill with a tooth comb and eventually came up with recommendations, including proposed amendments. Those amendments will be moved in the committee of the whole, the third reading of the bill. And what we are doing with this bill is try to enrich it so that we have a very, very good law that governs the administration of our trusts in the country. I must begin by pointing out that trusts are part of the best business ventures in the country because majority of them, including charitable, have an element of business. This is why we are going to vest trusts administration in the big office of business registration service, where it will be controlled separately and independently from the companies, the partnerships, firms, and other businesses that are registered in this country. But trusts will be a section in that office, the business registration service, and will be administered from there. May I confirm that we met interested parties during public participation, a large number of stakeholders, and those stakeholders made very interesting suggestions on the bill, which suggestions, most of them have carried the day with us and will be actually in the proposed amendments, depending on how it was. There were others which we felt the bill actually did deal with them sufficiently, and therefore we would shelve those recommendations. But I must point out that amongst the very interested stakeholders we met were the ICS, that is the Institute of Certified Public Secretaries, who made their recommendations. The Law Society of Kenya, that made its recommendations. We also met government agencies, various government agencies, including the Office of the Honorable Attorney General, the two state departments where BRS is situated. We had the Solicitor General coming in with his recommendations. We had the State Department of Justice and Constitutional Affairs coming in with their recommendations. And eventually, we had also Treasury coming in two facets. KRA itself came over because they administer trusts, and sometimes they actually levy taxes on non-charitable trusts. The Central Bank of Kenya, which also regulates some trusts, was with us. And eventually, we had the Kenya Law Reform Commission that came in with detailed proposed amendments, which amendments we have considered in full. Now, what does the Trust Administration Law do? As indicated on the long title of the bill, it is to consolidate trust laws in the country. Trust laws are not very clear, even to students of law, and even to some practicing lawyers for a long time, because it's an area that we always found quite difficult in equity. We had to learn what trusts were, how they are formed, how they incorporated, how they are administered, including various customary trusts, Islamic trusts, and other trusts that come along. We have two sets of acts which deal with trust laws in the country. The first one is called the Trustees Act, and the other one is called the Trustees Perpetual Succession Act. Those two are now being repealed so that they are amalgamated into the trust administration laws, which we are now debating. So what we will come up is a unified code of law to govern our trusts. And many other people will ask you, where are these trusts? Where are they found? The most noticeable of them, apart from the educational trusts, which are charitable, we also have some political trusts in the name of foundations here and there. We have the churches. Churches in almost the entire country are run by registered trustees. They are registered, they used to be registered under the Societies Act, but the owners of those churches would be registered trustees. So we have many trusts that are formed by churches, and majority of them are charitable. It means they are for the benefit of the members of the church. And that's why we had actually to define who a beneficial owner is, because it becomes difficult, especially for a church charitable trust, to identify the person who is the beneficial owner. So we have defined the beneficial owner to include persons who have interest in those charities. Again, there is a provision in the bill that the charitable trusts would not trade. We have to look at this with a tooth comb and also listen to stakeholders, the churches, because they informed us that although they are charitable trusts, do not do any profitable business. Sometimes they conduct business for the benefit of the trust. For example, a church would get a donation regarding their hospital so that they are able to provide better medical services. Then instead of plowing the money directly into medicines, they may actually, into medicines that are issued free, they may set up a chemist where they would have medicines sold at non-profit cost elements only. And therefore, they would be doing this so that they generate a little money, plow it back into the trust, and it now starts succeeding itself. Even in education, a school, a church school, or a school that is charitable may actually get a donation and they decide to set up a textbook bookshop where they would sell books to the school, to the pupils, to the parents, again, not at exorbitant prices, but with a view to gaining a little more money, which they will plow back into the trust, which is the school. So we have looked at this to see that it may not be necessary to make a provision that charitable trusts would not have to trade. Sometimes they may just have to trade for purposes of the benefit of the trust. We've also looked at non-charitable trusts. These are trusts that are not charitable, and the net effect is, we've said, they must have a physical person present in the country who is a trust, purely to ensure that we cover economic crimes in the country. Because some of these trusts, if they are not properly regulated, if they are not properly taken care of, would actually encourage such vices as money laundering, corruption, and other crimes which we are supposed to fight. And as soon as we pass this bill, I assure the country.
Yes, please give him that 1 minute.
Thank you very much. I assure the country that the grey listing we have with the financial institutions will possibly now be lifted so that we are better off placed and we can sit in the international money markets where we can be heard as a country that has complied with the laws regarding anti-money laundering, corruption, and proceeds of crime, which is very important in those particular money markets. With those remarks, I beg to support and urge the House to support this bill. Thank you.
Honorable members, there be no further interest in this. I'd like to call upon the mover to reply. Mover, go ahead and reply. Honorable Owen Bayer.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I stand to reply on the Trust Administration Bill, National Assembly Bill number 29 of 2026. Honorable Speaker, I think robust debate has gone on. We have had good debate on this, on the establishment and administration of trust, the three types of trusts, Honorable Speaker. And fundamental, Honorable Speaker, is that as we establish this trust, we hope this trust will not be used as conduits for ill-gotten wealth. And also, Honorable Speaker, that these trusts will be those trusts that can help Kenya move forward in terms of the new financial architecture. With those many remarks, and I also want to thank the committee. I also want to thank Sir George, wherever he is, for his committee for the work that they have put in to ensure that we have the report and we have everything. And we look forward to the Committee of the Whole to pass this bill. I thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I reply.
Honorable members, I now put the question, which is that the Trust Administration Bill, National Assembly Bill number 29 of 2026 be now read a second time. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as have a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 12, motion, recruitment and remuneration of community health promoters, resumption of debate.
So, honorable members, in this motion, the Honorable George Morogara had a balance of 13 minutes in moving, so you may proceed.
In moving, yes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to continue moving that the government, the national government, does formulate and implement a policy framework to guide on the recruitment and remuneration of the community health promoters across the country. Honorable Speaker, I move to Article 43(1) of the Constitution, which provides that we are entitled to the highest attainable standards of health in the country. It is mandatory for the government to provide health care to its citizens. And this is why I laud our government today, because we have come up with what is known as the universal health care under Article 43(1) of the Constitution. Universal simply means every Kenyan is entitled to highest standard of health care in the country, and it does not matter what it takes. The government is under an obligation to provide this. And this is the reason why today, as we speak, we have come up with what is known as the Social Health Insurance Fund. First, it's an insurance cover, whereby we try to register every Kenyan to become a member and also a beneficiary. It's good to point out to the country that since this is an insurance, there must be an element of premiums. And this is why every Kenyan is required to pay certain sums of money into the fund, and then after that, benefit. What is the net effect of this? When you get ill, then this fund is supposed to take care of you. And to an extent, it has done it so well that many people who were initially singing that SHIF does not work are now turning around to say it does work. SHIF is actually executed through the Social Health Authority, which is the entity charged with this responsibility. Now, what role do community health promoters play as far as this is concerned? We must admit that as they go around, and these are very, very important people in our rural setup, especially rural setup, where medical facilities are scarce. What are those medical facilities? We are supposed to have hospitals, health centers, and dispensaries. In most of these rural areas, we don't even have health centers. We only have dispensaries. So these health promoters, as they move around, they are also encouraging members of the public to register to be members of SHIF through SHA. And SHA or SHIF, when it works, it's sending money all the way to the dispensaries in the villages, so that these dispensaries, through their development in infrastructure, they are able to improve themselves, they are able to procure drugs, they are able to procure facilities. This is a function bestowed on these health workers to ensure that the public is educated as regards what the benefits of SHIF and SHA would be. Something else which these healthy promoters do is to ensure that they deal with basic ailments from the rural population. The basic ailments include common malaria, which is found everywhere. They have also to do with what are called the common health diseases, including blood sugar and the other ones that they have to deal with. All these ones, they are trained to actually test them, give advice, and then recommend you over to the next available health institution, whether it's a dispensary, whether it's a health center, and whether it is a hospital. It is these health workers that do this. So today, as we discuss this extremely important motion, we have to bear in mind that these people who do so much work that is highly valuable, work that ought to be done and must be done, do not get any salaries for the work done. They do not get any proper remuneration. We know for sure what happens is the national government makes a contribution of 2,500, while the county government makes a contribution of another 2,500, and they receive a token of 5,000 shillings for such work. This is the reason why I have considered it necessary to bring this motion, so that we now resolve that our government will actually formulate and implement a policy so that these people can start earning a salary. They will be better trained, and there is no problem with us coming up with educational qualification, simply because educational qualification is based on the education we give to our children. We take them to school to learn, we take them to colleges to learn, and then after that, they can actually take up jobs such as this. But before that is done, those who have been assigned this duty, who have volunteered in the first instance and are receiving the stipends, should continue receiving the same. And if the government can, as we formulate the policy and implement it, improve on the stipends, then it is highly advisable that this is done and these people receive better remuneration as we go along. So this is a very important motion, and I urge the members of parliament who are here to actually support it so that we can move to the next step, which includes, if we have to develop a bill which will come to this house to be passed to become an act of parliament, then we do so and take care of these very vital workers in our health sector who must be recognized and must be appreciated. And as I sum up, may I also commend the government, because recently, pursuant to motions brought to this house, and one of them was brought to this house by me on the 28th of February 2019, during my first time, to formulate and implement policies regarding village elders in the country. We thank the government that even if the policy has not been formulated and implemented, at least village elders today, whatever name they are given, whether village administrators, whether they will be called area administrators, area managers, whichever name they will be getting, today are receiving a stipend from the government. And we commend the government because of implementation of its bottom-up transformation agenda. We have started with area managers. We are now on CHPs, who are also at the bottom of the pyramid of healthcare in the country. And as we do this, we are uplifting those who are down. They are coming up, and we are realizing what we promised Kenyans during the campaigns, that we will actually be moving bottom up. This is exemplification of the movement of bottom up, moving from down upwards, so that everybody can realize the standards that are that are required to be achieved as we continue living. Very important for our health sector. I urge the members to support this motion. With those remarks, I do beg to move, and I will request the Honorable Member of Parliament for Buri, the Honorable Mugambi Redikiri, who that I had spoken to. He wasn't here when I was starting, and I had spoken to Honorable Mukami, who is going to support the motion, but I request Honorable Redikiri to actually second. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I want to thank you, Honorable Murugara, the head member of Parliament of Tharaka, and with God's blessing, the incoming governor of Tharaka Nithi County, for coming up with this motion. And from the onset, Madam Speaker, it is a motion that requires us to resolve that we improve the premium that is paid to our community health promoters. From the onset, Madam Speaker, we need to congratulate His Excellency the President for finding it good that we have universal health care, and implementation of the universal health care requires that it starts from the bottom. Madam Speaker, when this program was started, many people were doubting the viability, the importance of the health promoters. But as time has progressed, we have seen that they play a very serious role in dissemination of health information. In many areas, particularly in Bole constituency, for example, many people did not have a lot of health education on why there are some illnesses are identified within certain regions. For example, cancer, flu, pneumonia, malaria, high blood pressure, etc. These people, since they started operating, we have seen an improvement of understanding the basic health and even hygiene factors. Madam Speaker, these are very important persons in as far as even the medical research is concerned, because we have seen even in universities, students, people keen to know what kind of health issues are within a certain area, they turn to CHPs. And these people have a lot of information, and they share this information with the researchers, with the students, with the institutions that are keen on trying to look for health solutions. Madam Speaker, the biggest question is, what is the economic implication of the amount of money that we are seeing be increased versus the benefit of having the CHPs? Madam Speaker, it goes without saying, the work these people are doing is bigger than the salary that we are saying is in need to be increased. I'm sure the mover of this motion had in mind, at least if we are able to approach the minimum salary. And, but we need to really say we might not be able to reach the minimum as per the Constitution, but at least an improvement of that premium is going to improve the welfare of these workers. Madam Speaker, these people operate under very strenuous circumstances. These are the people who are called on the first line. Mama so and so is not feeling well. Baba so and so has a problem. This kid has this. They learn during the cold. They learn during the mud. They learn during the dry season. When it is hot, they are there. And a lot of money that they use, a lot of money they use is theirs. The 2,500 from the county, the 2,500, 5,000 is not even enough to take them for a whole month. So if the benefit outweigh the amount of that amount of money, I think it is very important this House resolves that we improve the premium that are paid. Madam Speaker, really, let's appreciate these people. We have appreciated the law the area managers have done. Let's appreciate these people. They are very important people in as far as our medical sector is involved. I thank you, Madam Speaker. I thank you, the mover. Let's all resolve. Madam Speaker, with those few remarks, I second.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Malava. Oh, sorry, let me propose. Hold on a second, Member for Malava. Yes. Honorable members, I now propose that, aware that the community health promoters play an integral role in the delivery of primary health care at community level by providing basic health services, including health promotion, education, and disease prevention and detection. They also support maternal and child health care interventions and community mobilization, and further aware the community health promoters serve as the first point of contact between the households and the formal health system. Concerned that despite their important contribution to the realization of universal health coverage and the attainment of the highest standard, the highest attainable standard of health under Article 43(1) of the Constitution, community health promoters continue to discharge these critical duties with inadequate facilitation and insufficient remuneration. Acknowledging that proper facilitation and motivation and fair remuneration of the community health promoters would enhance service delivery, strengthen preventive health care, and reduce pressure on health facilities. Cognizant of the fact that the health policy is a function of the national government, now therefore, this House resolves that the national government formulates and implements a policy framework to guide on the recruitment and remuneration of the community health promoters across the country. Okay, proceed, Member for Malava.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. First of all, I'd like to appreciate and congratulate Honorable Mrungara for the good idea to bring this to this House. Madam Speaker, I rise to support this motion on the recruitment and remuneration of community promoters across the country. Madam Speaker, community promoters are at the first point of contact between millions of Kenyan households and also in the health system. Madam Speaker, health promoters, they educate our grassroots families and on medical issues. Madam Speaker, they undertake disease surveillance, and they also promote maternal and child health care. Madam Speaker, to take it home, they also identify or detect illness, and they link patients with health facilities. Madam Speaker, by law, they are recognized in the Act of Primary Health Care 2023 Act, and they are also part of primary health care workforce. Madam Speaker, health promoters cannot expect to perform when they are not working under conducive environment, because we also cannot expect good health care at the grassroots level while the health promoters, what they are delivering is mainly given with inadequate facilitation. Madam Speaker, what I mean by inadequate facilitation, they don't have what it takes for them to keep superb delivery. And also they have uncertain about their welfare. Uncertain means they don't know when they are going to be paid. Madam Speaker, they don't know how they can be given the motivation for them to perform better. Madam Speaker, by law, they already have government support, mostly the county governments. But Madam Speaker, you find that the county governments are not providing training to CHVs. They are not facilitating them with the working tools. And also, Madam Speaker, they don't give a good remuneration. Because, Madam Speaker, they should be also be given stipends that are worthy and given a good supervision. Therefore, Madam Speaker, my standing on this support, I like to say that Mr. Murungara coming up with this, we as a House, we need to give a uniform and a national framework that should be supported by this House by giving timely, Madam Speaker, and a predictable and accountable remuneration. And this accountable remuneration, Madam Speaker, should be sustainable. We need to establish reliability that guarantees, Madam Speaker, the payment of CHVs. Madam Speaker, between national government and county governments, we must avoid delays and ensure that there is consistency in paying the CHVs. And the remuneration should be up to the standard so that facilitation in their field can be of high standard. Madam Speaker, we also need to provide medical cover. Although the President last month, as from July 1st, he considered them. But Madam Speaker, they have a lot of risks when they are facing their challenges when serving their communities. So we should consider them by appropriating with medical cover. Madam Speaker, they should be provided with working tools. They should also be given smartphones, Madam Speaker, and also more so, because they are risk service, they should be provided with protective equipment. Madam Speaker, mobility is very hard for them, for those who are serving in rural areas. We need also to facilitate them when necessary in transportation. It can be even offered bicycles, motorcycles, so that they can reach the victims at early opportunity as possible. And also, they also want to advance their career. They should be put on training so that they can expand in their responsibility execution. Madam Speaker, the government has already recognized the importance of CHVs. Madam Speaker, 107,000 CHVs are being supported nationally. But first, Madam Speaker, because the recognition is there by both two cadres of government, national government and county governments, they should be supported 50-50 with certainty, because most of them go beyond stipulated time for them to be paid. We must move beyond temporary support, Madam Speaker, and we establish a sustainable system that gives them, the workers, the dignity and also motivation on job security. Madam Speaker, I urge this House, we support this motion, and I call upon the national government, in consultation with the county government, Madam Speaker, to formulate a comprehensive policy and recruitment on remuneration, facilitation, and welfare of healthy community promoters. As I sit down, Madam Speaker, I'd like to say that investing in the community health promoters is like investing in preventive health care, and also we shall be reducing pressure on the hospitals as we bring universal health care closer to the Kenyan household. because they are our first doctors on the grassroots, Madam Speaker, they should be given the attention they deserve. They should also be remunerated, facilitated, and also given medical covers. I support this motion, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
Honorable members, the time being 1 p.m., this House stands adjourned until today, Wednesday, 26th August 2026 at 2:30 p.m.